This is S4 with your host, Eric Cooper.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to S4, where we talk about the real issues involving paranormal and current events, coming to you live from the S4 headquarters in the heart of the Cascade Mountains of Washington State. We also cover topics such as disaster and terrorist response, preparation, and veterans issues as appropriate, so like Memorial Day, Veterans Day. So tonight, it's the 1st of March. Our guest tonight didn't show up, but that's okay. Tonight we're going to talk about, well, current events, which is coronavirus, pandemics in general, and how do you prepare for them? Because what I see is a lot of people panicking, and should they be? And so tonight with us we have Cole and Kayla, their son Jalen, and Eric Markham, our scientist, who is a microbiologist and has been a microbiologist for what, about 20 years, Eric?
Yeah, about going on 25 now.
So, it's pretty much in his genre, how do you prepare for a pandemic, which is what they've kind of claimed this is going to be, is a pandemic. But the question remains is this something to fear or just simply be aware of, prepare for? So what I find interesting is here in Washington, we were the first American case of coronavirus in the United States, and now as of today, the first death has occurred here.
Yeah, the first case was a young gentleman who traveled from China
to here,
and he's from Snohomish County. And the first death was a 50-year-old gentleman from King County.
And the first case in Snohomish County, they quarantined him, they tested and verified and proved showed he had coronavirus, but he recovered. He's perfectly fine. I don't think, if I recall right, anybody got coronavirus from him. He recovered just fine.
Sorry, guys, that is our new clock that we just got.
It's so awesome, though. But, I'm getting messages almost weekly from the community asking about the emergency response side of this virus. To include tonight, I got another one. And I'm telling them, don't panic about it. Just soap and water.
Yep.
And, honestly, before I was saying, there's nothing wrong with a mask. If you want to put a mask on, put a mask on. If it makes you feel more comfortable, by all means, wear one. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember what country it was, but there was a country that, I think it was Japan, where a mob of people actually attacked somebody because they're wearing a mask. It's like, really? So our fear factor is going to get to the extent that we're going to attack people because they're trying to stay safe.
Maybe it was a Godzilla mask.
There goes Tokyo.
Right? Oh.
Well,
the funny thing is with the masks, okay, the porosity of a mask is the virus is smaller than the mask is what I'm getting at.
Right.
You have a clock, I have a cat. So running around with the mask isn't really helping. That's like if you see a movie with where there's a viral outbreak, they're in class 4,
Well, yeah, they're a biosuit.
You're basically wearing a spacesuit. Mm-hmm. Your gloves are taped to the sleeves. It's sealed. You don't use a mask or something like that. Masks are good for things like TB. An N95 respirator is like the industry standard for something like that. Like if I have a patient in a hospital that's on respiratory isolation, the N95 works for that kind of thing. But
right.
For a virus, I think even your regular, like an M19, the old M19 gas mask wouldn't even be proof against. I do believe they had NBC cartridges available, but the standard gas mask cartridge would probably still let a virus in.
Oh, no. My M40 will stop it.
Okay, the 40s are... No, I'm talking about the old Vietnam era, the old M19 with the cheek filters and stuff like that. Yeah, they've increased... They've improved gas masks a bunch since I was in.
Well, when I joined in 89, 90, they had the M8. Or it might have been the M18. I can't remember which. And it was cheap. But the M40 has a separating canister that you replace once it's been used, basically. So we were talking before the show, you were saying the coronavirus is just like the common cold pretty much, correct?
Yeah, the coronaviruses, that's a huge family of viruses. I mean, cold, your common cold is a coronavirus. Not to say that it's a pushover, but that whole family, when they say coronavirus, it's not like it's something that just leaked out of a government lab somewhere. We've been coexisting with this thing for, forever. It does have separate strains, and some of those strains are, like SARS was a coronavirus. I think hantavirus, the one that comes out of mouse droppings that they had a epidemic of back in the 90s out in the Pacific desert Southwest, I believe. That was a coronavirus. There's different ones, but for the most part, these things have been around forever.
The identification of this one is SARS-CoV-2.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a SARS.
They're also calling it CoV-19, I think.
Yes.
Some of the
and the 19 has to do with the year that it was started on this one, because if I remember right, this particular strain came out last year.
Yeah,
and they didn't start. They didn't panic and announce to the world that there were people catching it until this year.
They didn't really know how bad it was, honestly.
Well, one of the things about coronavirus, they are zoonotic, which means the principal reservoir is non-humans. We're talking fowl, fish, well, not fish, fowl, farmyard animals, bovine, porcine, pigs, cattle, sheep, pick a farm animal. And it's the thing that happens with a virus The idea of a virus is it's a parasite. It requires a host cells to replicate and pass on.
Right.
And within its normal reservoir animal, it has co-evolved, and these things, they get the virus, they carry the virus, but they're not in as much, they're not in that much danger because they've co-evolved. That's like...
that's why the host doesn't usually die.
Right, because to be a successful parasite, you got to keep your host alive.
Mm-hmm.
You can't kill your host to be successful. And it's when you get something like this, if you look at some of the dietary habits in Asia, I mean...
Yeah, if it started from the bat...
I don't think there's anything they won't
think the host
eat.
died.
Yeah. So, you get these things where... So they get introduced into the humans. We don't have necessarily the specific antibodies to keep it in check, so it gets a foothold. You get a respiratory disease, but it's close enough to the common cold and some of the flu viruses that the body eventually can overcome it. And that's where you get into the problem. We've introduced a new strain that we're not set up to fight as well as some others.
Well, and that's
with the way they replicate, they're so fast replicating. And when you have something that can do multiple generations in a couple days, you get mutation. That's where I think the danger is.
Well, and with an incubation period of like 14 days, I mean...
But they identified this in 2019. But the thing is, the mortality rate for anyone under the age of 39 is 2%. So, like, if they identified it in 2019, but if it was all people under the age of, that are relatively healthy under the age of 39 who got it, and it just acted in the same way small flu or the common cold would, why would they worry about it that much? It isn't until someone who actually gets it and starts showing real hard symptoms. Where,
Yeah. You got to get somebody whose immune system can't fight it off as effectively. So, plus 14-day incubation period. I'm pretty sure that within about 5 days, you can be passing it around.
We do have to give
enough viral load in your body. You can pass it around not knowing that you're even sick.
We do have to give a huge shout out to China for one thing. Once it did become a huge issue, they built a hospital in 8 days from the ground up.
Right.
And an outbreak hospital at that. It included research facilities as well as quarantined areas. That's amazing.
From ground up.
Well, there are... when you're basically a tyrannic, monarchy, it's like you can... it's good to be the king, basically. Wrap it up and call it something else, but they have a totalitarian regime over there for the most part. And when they say build a hospital, they can immobilize an enormous government-controlled workforce. There are advantages to that. I wouldn't want to live like that, but that is one of the advantages to their system is there's no committees, there's no subcommittees, there's no BS.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in authority says, build me a hospital, and you get a hospital built.
Oh, you're not going to argue.
Right.
So, we're going to go over the symptoms of the current coronavirus, because I know we do have a lot of people that are starting to panic. The government's sitting here saying, oh, we're at a low risk. Well, now we've had a couple people die. And that is, I think the big difference, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the big difference between this and the common cold is the fever. Correct?
Oh, you get a fever fever is your body's natural response to any outside invader.
Right. But this one's got a fever of 101 to 102, I believe, if I was reading the news earlier.
Yeah, but you can get that from the common cold
standard.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get that with cold and flu. fever. What makes the fever handy is if you're screening people. People get, like you saw pictures of them with the non-contact thermometers. You hit somebody who's running 99, 100, 101. Yeah, they got something, so you peel them off to the side
and put a mask on them.
Which is funny because, like I said, the mask isn't really. It's kind of like the difference between putting a real. I mean, it's like breathing through a sieve. The virus particles are still going to get outside the mask.
Hey,
probably helps a little.
We got Joyce in the chat room. How you doing, Joyce? And that's one of the big things is you're going to see more children and more of the elderly. But honestly, I think it's a compromised immune system you need to watch out for, and it's people with already pre-existing medical conditions that already have a weakened system that really need to be careful of the coronavirus.
Yeah, I mean, we've had, maybe a hand, I don't know what the complete statistic is, but I think more people have died of the flu this year, the common flu, than have died of coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
That we know of. It's
right.
Hard to get, it's kind of hard to get accurate news out of, different countries. I mean, I'm sure the government said don't let it out how bad it really is if it's that out of hand. But
no, and honestly, in all fairness, like we were talking about before the show, the government's not going to tell you how bad it is because they don't want mass panic, and
right.
You're already seeing mass panic. Oh hell, what do you see in? You said Costco was selling out everything.
Yeah, our local Costco is having problems keeping up with supply because.
Well, you've got a media juggernaut trying to whip everybody into a frenzy about it, and they're doing a fine job.
And even I went out and bought 3 cases of water for the house, and
you do that all the time anyway, though.
Not really.
What?
I make them drink tap water. But I don't know. I guess I want them to live.
And we're in the mountains. I'd be more worried about it if I live in the city with everyone's living close together. It's harder to maintain.
If Bigfoot gets coronavirus, we're screwed.
Oh yeah,
he's upstream from us.
I don't think Bigfoot's going to get coronavirus. That's why he stays hidden. You're like, oh hell no, them human diseases? No, I want nothing to do with them. I live up in the mountains.
Well, that's a very good point, though. They have more of a spread out. You get get a Portland, Oregon, or you get a Seattle, Washington. People are packed into that city.
Yeah.
A large percentage of them have the personal hygiene habits of chimpanzees.
Yeah,
there's an issue of crowding and transmission.
But to be perfectly honest, it wouldn't really matter where you're. So if let's say you go to a restaurant or you go to a grocery store, you go somewhere or something like that, how many people wash their hands regularly? Not as many as you'd think. Okay, there's plenty of people that have used the bathroom before you that didn't wash their hands before they went and touched that lettuce that you then didn't wash before you put on your sandwich. And thinking about how many people one person can come into contact with in any given day, and how many people each of those people can come into contact with in any given day, it's a ridiculous amount. It's like that whole 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing where everybody's come in contact with everybody in the course of a week. I'm
not going to the same restaurants you like anymore.
But if it's a true pandemic where they cannot get it under control and they don't know where patient zero is or where it started or how it started or any of that kind of stuff, like a true unknown, it would spread so fast nobody would be able to stop it. You can't quarantine when you don't know what to quarantine.
Well,
delay between infection and actually, that 14-day incubation period. If this disease, say, if you wanted to weaponize coronavirus, you would take the actual coronavirus and put something like Marburg or Ebola, what makes those pathogenic, into that, because then you've got this virus that spreads for 2 weeks before anybody is symptomatic.
Well, I think I heard today they decided it wasn't a bat that spread it initially; it was a snake.
There's still confusion about that.
They're trying to figure
That's
it
the
out
problem.
still. That's what I'm saying. There's no ground zero, so they don't know where this came from yet.
They just don't came
They're
from that
assuming
market.
it came from some form of animal at some market.
The problem,
And most of them do.
No, it's one huge market, and the problem is they have wolves and bats and snakes in cages next to dead ones hanging. Like sitting right next to them.
Yeah, right next to the guy that's frying up noodles and
Yes.
serving them to you.
Right.
So, I mean, it can spread like nobody's business.
Well, you have to, with all the flies on the meat and everything.
Right.
I mean, it's not a
healthy
hard
market.
to. Yeah, I mean, it's not.
No,
I don't
but
think
we
it's that
also
far-fetched to say you could get it. It could start out, by somebody harvesting bush meat, which is, just anything you can get a hold of. It gets into a farm population, and then it spreads throughout the rest. Look at all the, God, what was it, bird flu, where they were killing off all those ducks by the billions? I mean, it was crazy.
That's something we're going to talk about tonight too. Is you got a lot of farms and whatnot, and a lot of them don't understand what biosecurity is when it comes to a farm. Do we need to worry about that so much here? Not necessarily, but going back to when we had bird flu and it was affecting chickens, a lot of people don't understand what biosecurity for agriculture is.
Yeah, but what you got to understand is that humans are not as fragile as people seem to think they are. Otherwise, we would have all been wiped out by a pandemic years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, with how fast they spread, with the amount of contact and the amount of people and the gestation periods and everything else, we adapt and we overcome. That's what we do.
Until you get a zoonotic virus, which this would be a zoonotic virus, would it not?
It is a zoonotic virus in that, the host animal is not human.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a lot of, and this is going to piss people off, but I mean, it's a medical truth that pigs and humans are very compatible. That's why you can use a pig heart valve inside a human heart.
Well, pig skin, too. Pig skin is used for grafting.
Yeah, you can use, actually, one of the places I encountered, they had gotten away from that and were actually, that would be like a temporary to keep infection at bay, but they were actually culturing the patient's own tissue in tissue culture to put down over their burns. It was cutting edge stuff about 20 years ago. It was amazing. But yeah, you're going to start with one of the things we got here, and this, we didn't used to have these gigantic mega farms. If hoof and mouth or some kind of swine disease hit, the farmer, bad news, you got to put a couple hundred animals down.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about these agribusiness, it almost sickens me, the amount of animals that are crammed into these places, and that's a topic for another show. But you're talking thousands, where it used to be dozens to hundreds.
Well,
a big operator when I was a kid was 100, a couple hundred was, that was a huge operator.
That was a
Now
big
you got
dairy
these
farm.
Farms, yeah. These pig farms. Some of these pig farmers, they're raising what essentially the population of a small city inside one operation.
And the more livestock, for example, you have on a farm, the more non-sanitary conditions. It's a breeding ground for bacteria, a breeding ground for viruses. It's no wonder we haven't had a pandemic a lot sooner.
But see, that's what I'm saying, is that human resilience is actually amazing, how quickly we adapt to different things that are happening. Because of the fact that we have had things that could have gone pandemic easily.
Right.
But our bodies adapt and overcome.
Until it comes from a foreign country.
And then, we end up with, 50% of the population.
Well, we overcome. It's amazing how the immune system works. That was one of my more fascinating classes I had to take. But you can get a native population, a virgin population that have no immunity, that have never been. We're lucky because coronavirus is out there. We've adapted to. Our immune system recognizes it might not know the specific strain, but our immune system can gear up to fight it and adapt.
Right.
So you get a situation, say, like smallpox and some of the venereal diseases. When the Spanish came to the Americas and started, exploring, they left what it was called the Black Swath. They left a path of death behind them because the natives here in the Americas had never been exposed to, smallpox.
Absolutely,
syphilis,
but it did
gonorrhea.
not take out all of them. That's what I'm saying, is that eventually...
Yeah, the ones that refuse the blankets.
Oh, stop it.
So the key symptoms of this virus are fever, cough, and shortness of breath, correct?
Yeah, it's like having a cold,
Yeah.
like
So-
a very bad cold.
Is there a way to tell the difference between this and a common cold? Not really, right?
Besides getting it checked.
If
Besides finding
They
out if
can
you have the
run.
virus, yeah.
I don't know if they've come up with, like with flu, there's a test cartridge. You take a patient specimen, usually from the nose, and you put it, you treat it, and you send it through this cartridge, and it will tell you whether it's a flu A strain or a flu B strain. I don't know if they've come up with that for coronavirus yet.
So I'm looking, and the 5 countries right now that are on the list for level 3 travel health notices are China, Iran, Italy, Japan, and South Korea. I know South Korea got hit hard, which makes me worried because we have friends in South Korea in the U.S. military that are a part of S4, a part of FMP, and I haven't heard from them. I don't know what's going on there. I have no clue. I think you know how Muslims are. Muslims do not miss prayer time. And I saw on the news yesterday or the day before, Iran canceled their daily prayer time.
Damn.
Yeah. They don't.
That's unprecedented.
It is.
It is. So for it to get that bad, and Iran canceled the community, I mean, they pray 5 times a day. And if you've ever been to the Middle East, it's probably one of the most eerie noises, yet most beautiful. Because it's a guy singing in essentially singing in a loudspeaker, the call to prayer. And they cancel it. I think it's Australia No, Japan has actually canceled school until further notice. We as a country have it easy.
Well, Jalen, what have you been told?
For what?
At school for the coronavirus. Have you been told anything by your teachers or principals?
Remember that paper Hunter gave you?
Yes.
That's it.
They just handed you, they didn't tell you what was on the paper?
No, I read it.
Oh, they're awesome. They should know by now that, 8th, 9th, and 10th grader is not going to read a paper that they're handed.
No. And again, compared to other countries that are canceling their events, the United States has it easy.
Yeah, Bothell closed for one day.
Yeah.
Bothell High School, and then another high school in actually where a teenager was identified with coronavirus on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They are closed tomorrow in order to do a full disinfection of the school. Giant Lysol bottles are going everywhere.
Right, but I already said, 14-day incubation. So this kid could have passed it to everybody in that school.
Well, and anyone who had contact with, so all schoolmates, all teachers, everyone is being tested. If they find another case within that area, they will test the people they have contact with.
Right.
Oh, they're probably going to treat it. They're going to treat it like a Bordetella pertussis outbreak. That's one of those things that people think whooping cough is a joke, and it's really it's not.
It's not. Not
when
at all.
When it gets into a community, I mean, if we have, I've worked from Maine to Arizona and several places in between. Every state I've ever worked in microbiology, if you get a positive pertussis, you have to report it to the state, and it gets to the state lab, and they do a full-on, hammer down type investigation, because you introduce pertussis to a school population, and it's gonna run through there like crap through a goose.
Oh yeah. So it's spread person to person between people who are in close contact with one another within about 6 feet. And this is coming from the CDC. Through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Now, do you guys remember that commercial? I can't remember what commercial it was, but they show the droplets that come out of the person's mouth when they sneeze. I can't remember the commercial was.
Yeah. Well, that's actually an apt thing. You got the people that will cover their mouth with their hands when they cough.
No. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
That's great, but then they don't wash they wash their hand. Their idea of washing their hands is to wipe it on their clothes.
Right.
Yeah. I guess hand washing is so instilled into me because of what I do for a living.
Oh, yeah.
Universal precautions, antimicrobial soap, which is kind of BS. I've grown bacteria on and the active ingredient. But anyway, that's one of the things that my father used to volunteer at a local religious charity.
Mm-hmm.
And he all the time, at least 2 or 3 times a year, say, well, I'll be having a cold. People here don't have and I'm not talking, some unwashed third world person. I'm talking about somebody born and raised in this town or area. It's not uncommon for them to just sneeze and cough in your face without, the basic, politeness. It's amazing how backwards some of those people are, and I've seen it myself.
Joyce is bringing up, I think this is what disturbs me about today's news, is what about the cases turning up that have had no contact with any infected people? You know, the
Well, they
guy...
don't know. I don't think they can say that, though, because between the viability of the virus on a hard surface and the incubation period,
right?
And say you're the person that can, like typhoid Mary, you don't catch the disease, but you can carry it.
Yeah.
So I think this is where they're trying to gin up paranoia and gin up some hysteria about this. There's always been people. There are always carriers. There's people so you can't know. You can't know that you didn't have contact. I mean, it's impossible to say.
How many people actually go to the hospital for a cold?
No, very few.
So how many people actually know they had it?
Right? They wouldn't.
Well, you get a lot of people that use, now this speaking from somebody that did 178 flu swabs in one shift. You have people that as soon as they start sniffling, they show up at an emergency room, and they want that doctor's note. And there's a lot of places now that if you get a doctor's note and a positive flu test, well, that's your paid day off. But
but how many people fight through it?
Yeah, most people. I think. I mean, you've got the ones. I agree. You got the ones that go at the first sign of a sniffle, and you're probably going to see more of that because of this coronavirus. But having been a combat medic, we don't go to the doctor. I mean, even with the kids, we'll give them ibuprofen, Tylenol. If the fever drops, then okay, we keep them home. And we take care of our own, but we don't go to the doctor unless they've had a fever for a couple of days. That's unresponsive. If it's unresponsive, then we'll go right in. But and I think your first responders, your medical background kind of people, are the ones that won't go in. But that's the thing. How do you know when to go in?
Eric's sitting there with his freaking arm ripped off, and he's like, "Give me the duct tape."
Well, yeah,
exactly. I damn near detached a toe, my right big toe, when I was a kid, and I used. My mom had some tape for holding her dippity-doo curls in place, and toilet paper. Put a sneaker on over it and went back out on my bike. I mean, you just didn't,
When I was a dumbass and dropped a tree on my head, I went and, not even thinking straight anyway. I had a concussion. But I went and lay down. Like, I'll just take a nap. And you don't go to sleep with a concussion. But, Ash is like, oh, no. We go to the emergency room. I'm like, okay, fine. But, and are we sitting here telling everybody that's got sniffles to go to the doctor? Use common sense.
Yeah.
If you have a fever, then I would go to the doctor anyway.
Fever's no joke. If you start getting up over 101, approaching 102,
exactly.
it's time to do something, because we're talking. You get up, you start going up, north of 102, and you're looking at possibility of brain damage. So, that's when it's time to go in. My parents always use is he raising hell, breaking things, or is he laying, or is he being quiet in the corner? Oh God, he's being quiet. Let's take him to the doctor.
Right? Yeah, and you just got a sore throat and a headache or something like that, then you take some ibuprofen, take some Theraflu, whatever your family uses.
And get your ass back to work.
Exactly. But no,
okay.
I think the big deciding factor for most of you need to pay attention to is the fever. If you have a fever that's unresponsive, then definitely get in. As far as the Preventive measures, soap and water, folks.
Absolutely.
Soap and water. Do you need to wear a mask? That's up to you.
When I used to work in a commercial kitchen, we had a small timer that went off every 15 minutes, and it would do one loud ding. Whenever I'm sitting in the kitchen cooking, I can still hear that timer. I don't have one, but yeah, it's automatically there.
Everybody say hi, Jamie. She's trying to log in the chat, but she can't. She's in Oregon right now, I believe.
Oh, hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
How you doing, Jamie? You need to get back up here.
Yeah, no, I know there's a lot of the fast food restaurants still use those timers, and it'll go off every 15 minutes, and every employee is supposed to wash their hands at that time.
Right.
So, you keep doing the regular hand washing, and it will help.
And seriously, wash your fruit and veggies before you eat them.
Right.
Unless you grow them yourself.
Yeah, you should do that anyway. Yeah.
If you just
Yeah.
ripped them out of the ground, they're probably safe.
But there's dirt.
Yeah, if you pull them out of your own garden and you know what you're using for, if you know what you're using for fertilizer, that's one thing. But where you got these
Right.
huge commercial farms where, some of these people that work in there, I'm not running them down, but they came from a culture where if you're working in your field and the urge hits you, you squat and go. Well, that's also how you pass a lot of parasitic infections along too. So yeah, it's a real good idea to take anything commercially bought. I'm not saying like a truck patch, some local farmer is truck patch, but I'm saying stuff that's commercially produced on these mega farms, yeah, wash the hell out of it.
Well, and even anything in a grocery store, even if it comes for the organic section, wash the hell out of it.
Yeah, because, Kayla and I were talking about this earlier. They don't use disinfectant in the store for your produce. All they use, if you go to the big grocery stores, they spray it with water. Water's not killing that virus.
And people walk along, you've seen it. You got the open display of tomatoes, and somebody, people handle what they're going to buy. Everybody's got their, this is firm enough. Things like
Right,
avocados.
they put it back.
Well, avocado is probably not that big a deal because you're not using the skin, but something like an apple or a tomato or something that you eat the skin, yeah, that's definitely something you need to wash.
Yeah, grapes. Yeah. The grapes are always, friend.
To be honest,
I've washed a thing of grapes.
I think my biggest pet peeve is people that don't wash their lettuce.
Yeah.
You always should wash your lettuce before you use it.
And I want to clarify too. Even if it comes out of your garden, we wash our produce that comes out of the garden too.
If it's above ground, I do. If it's like a carrot, I won't. I like that dirt taste.
You would.
Prairie boy.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
And celery too. Celery's my that I'm like, oh my god, wash your celery.
No, what about the cucumbers? The cucumbers from Hagen's.
Well, yeah, definitely wash something like celery, because you've got something that dirt or some kind of undesirable aspect can get. You look at your common wad of celery. Dirt can get down in there. It's a good idea to wash celery.
Do you know how many celery farms are right beside a wheat farm? Quite a few. There are honestly quite a few. And the thing with that is if you're growing celery right beside a wheat farm, the wheat field is getting sprayed with fertilizer.
Right. You don't know where the fertilizer came from.
Not just that.
What?
It sits in between the celery stalks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and like you said, even even with compost or
Organic
animal feces, that's where zoonotics breed. If you don't know where the fertilizer came from, you don't know what that farm's doing. So I'd still just use common sense and wash your stuff.
That's why I don't drink water. Fish have sex in that.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think it's salt water?
Oh. So, according to the CDC, avoid close contact with people who are sick. That's kind of hard to do.
Kayla, get away from me.
You're not going to catch
Oh, wait.
it.
You said sick, not sick and twisted.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, just sick.
You're good.
If they're coughing.
Ill.
Yeah.
Ill. Yeah.
But if you're in Walmart, that's kind of hard to do. If you're in Costco, especially right now, it's kind of hard to do. I get that. But use soap and water.
Actually, that was something weird today. We went into Walmart. It wasn't busy.
They were all at Costco.
Yeah. Honestly, Walmart was actually, for a Sunday afternoon, was kind of dead.
On the 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
well, everybody already stocked up.
Not really. It's
Right.
the 1st. All the people who shop at Walmart are using food stamps, and they get them on the 1st.
The 1st through the 20th.
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
rules. New rules.
Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. That's kind of hard to do. Stay home if you're sick. Again, that's kind of hard to do unless you're going to the doctor and getting a doctor's note. So, cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue and then throw the tissue in the trash. So when I worked at Madigan, so many people do sneeze into their hands. You're supposed to sneeze into the crook of your elbow. I know you were taught that too, weren't you, Marco?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
supposed-
that is a fairly recent thing, though, because
Is it?
as
Yeah.
kids, we were always told to, cover your, and you can actually find old graphics. I mean, we had something, it was like a one-day thing where they did a hygiene, the proper way to blow your nose, the way to cover your cough, with, Dick, Jane, and Sally era illustrations. But, yeah, it's coughing into your elbow, into the crook of your arm, that's usually more cloth, or somebody's got, they're dressed this time of year. You've got something to catch the respiratory droplets. That's really what you're trying to do, is trap the respiratory droplets. Get them in something that absorbs the spit, and you're in better shape.
Yeah. And yeah, now let's see, I worked at Madigan back in 2008, 2009, and they're teaching sneezing the crook of your elbow back then.
Yeah, you got to think that's still fairly recent. And,
Yeah.
the last... when would that have been?
Figure
2012. I took my Washington State food workers card
Right.
test.
Right.
The graphic still shows cough into your hand.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a while for a sea change. Cole's kids are going to grow up knowing that's going to be common by that generation, and then the generation after them. They're going to, that's just going to be as common as for us coughing into your hand was.
No, they'll have cough into your robot's hand.
Right?
Yeah.
Sanitization.
All right. So, clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. I always buy those bottles of Lysol for like $2.99, and that's what I use to clean the kitchen, the counters, whatnot.
That was my favorite thing when this first started.
What's that?
So the city that it first started in, I can never remember what it's called. I want to say Wafu, but that's not right, I don't think.
Waffle.
So when they first found out it was a really big thing,
Mm-hmm.
they disinfected the entire city. And so news news cameras were out showing these huge trucks with these huge blowers on them, and they were spraying disinfectant
Well, they're doing that
onto the overpasses.
They're showing that in Japan
Yeah.
today.
But someone took the Lysol symbol and put it on the side of this truck.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Lysol don't play around. I mean, that's it. The concentrated stuff. I mean, we used that in microbiology when I was in college. There was a more expensive. You could make up a whole lot of disinfectant with that stuff that was 98% effective for what we were doing for a lot less than the trademark or what like CDC would use, something like Dispatch. Lysol and bleach. And there's not too much out there that's gonna. I don't think there's much out there that is going to stand up to that because there's a saprophyte for everything. A fungus.
And
but there's no fungus for bleach.
Joe's in the chat room says he's got pneumonia. I guess he better use Lysol on his pointy sticks.
Yeah, he's got the rockin' pneumonia and the boogie woogie flu.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Lysol and pointy sticks.
in all seriousness,
One more disease, and you got like a whole album worth.
if you are disinfecting, please make sure that the chemicals that you're using can be used together without killing you in themselves.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Only-
make mustard gas in your.
Only use Lysol. Do not mix Lysol with the
Ammonia.
Clorox.
Yeah.
When you
Says
spray
you
your
won.
kids in the face, make sure you have them close their eyes as well.
You're wrong.
It hurt them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Silly boy.
I did my book.
So we're gonna. So in the second hour, we're gonna go back a little more into the woo factor and talk about some predictions.
Oh, yeah.
There are some predictions about.
Death and destruction.
Right.
Sorry, but there's
I
always
know
predictions about death and destruction.
that's wrong. It's 7:52. But so I know Sylvia Brown made predictions about coronavirus. Nostradamus made some predictions about coronavirus or epidemic.
Well,
anyway.
technically,
Pandemic.
he made predictions about pandemics.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, that could have been any of them already, or
So did
to come.
everyone's favorite 30-year-old, 9-year-old.
And it's interesting. So I did a poll in FMP about the most unrealistic fear. Guess what's number one? Zombie apocalypse.
Dude, that's no joke. No, I'm gonna throw this out here. So when you got two strains that mix together and then they hang out and they go over and they catch rabies on top of all this, right? Mm-hmm. Boom. Not necessarily coming back from the dead type of zombie action, but freaky thing that'll run after you and try to bite you for sure.
Well,
okay.
For anyone that knows the game series Resident Evil,
Right?
in this, where it first started, there is a market where it started. Across the street is a small research facility, and their symbol is the exact same except for this color scheme as
Talk about the umbrella?
Yes, it's the
Umbrella
umbrella.
Corp.
Now that is the company from the game, as well as coronavirus. No, Corona
Right?
is
Acronym.
for raccoon.
Oh.
Raccoon City is the name of the city in this game. Like, come on. The game's coming to life.
Okay.
Pretty soon we'll have dogs with, like, mouth flaps.
But you know what? I don't worry about zombie apocalypse. Just remember the double tap, cardio.
Cardiac.
Yeah. And to wear
So
your
there
seatbelt.
are
Okay.
there are incidents where there are certain organisms out there, certain types of fungus, and let's face it, funguses have been around, damn near from the
Fungus.
beginning, so they've got a leg up the evolutionary chain of a lot of other animals. But there's a type of fungus that once it infects like an ant or a wasp or some kind of insect, it actually changes the chemistry inside that creature's body, and it becomes a fungus spreader. Instead of spreading its own genetics and reproducing it, the fungus rewires the behavior of the organism so that it now spreads fungus. So it wouldn't be that, I don't know if it'd be so much a viral zombie apocalypse, but I could see where a
fungal zombie
zombie
That's
apocalypse
scary.
could happen.
Okay.
But I think my favorite is World War Z.
Where they don't kill
No,
the bad people.
I don't like the ending.
No.
I do.
It's a zombie
enjoyed the
apocalypse.
book.
No one should survive.
That's true.
Okay, but I'm gonna say this just really quick. If the zombie apocalypse does come, you got to worry more about me in about 7 to 10 days than you got to worry about the zombies. Okay.
Well, Joe's got it right. So you're going to run out of bullets, but you'll never run out of pointy sticks.
That's true.
Yeah, but
That's
you
true.
know, it's okay. So it depends on what kind of zombie apocalypse. Because if we're the ones that can die of whatever and come back as a zombie, or if you have to get bit, okay. Because if you can die of whatever and come back as a zombie, dude, do you know how many old folks' homes I would just lock the door and leave like, I'm sorry, Granny, but seriously, this is some scary zombie stuff, man.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm. That's not really a fear for me. I honestly
No.
think us up here would do really well in it.
You don't
I
need a
think we'd
medication
thrive.
to stay alive.
It's
I
a-
would be dead
It's a prayer
in 2
for
days.
me. It's not
Yeah,
a
we
fear.
double
I'm
tap.
looking forward to the zombie apocalypse.
Right? We would be just fine up here.
Well, most of us.
Again, I'd be dead in 10 days. So thanks,
No,
guys.
you'd be just fine up here, upriver. Even with the coronavirus, I'm not worried about it up here either. To be completely honest with you. I think most of our folks up here, once they understand the importance of hand washing with soap and water, that's the big that's the big thing. Soap and water. We are going to go into emergency preparedness here probably later on in second, third hour.
And if for some reason you don't have access to this open water, just carry one of those little like disinfectant hand things. I know they're not as good. I know they aren't. But in a pinch, like if you're using a porta potty or something, hey,
Yeah.
Right.
until you can get to
Rub
some...
it on your hands, drink a
soap
little
water.
bit, you'll be fine.
Oh, Jesus.
Right. and watch your kids.
Yeah, don't let them drink that.
I drink it.
No, you wouldn't.
I've
really?
seen him drink it.
Boy. So, well, with your kids, it's big on children, it's big on the elderly, it's big on those with lower compromised immune system. If your kids start showing signs of fever, then don't hesitate to take them in.
Joe, absolutely not. You can still wash your hands in the blood of your enemies, but maybe add some bacterial hand soap to it as well.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
you have to. Yeah, you have to use a hand sanitizer afterward.
Yeah.
It depends on if your enemies are from China. No.
Joy says fear fungus. That sounds like a TV show.
No. Fear
Fear
fungus?
fungus? Oh.
The next TV show.
Yeah. No, they'll do a movie on the coronavirus.
Oh yeah, but like fear fungus sounds like it's going to be the next reality show.
Fear fungus? Oh, God.
One of these funguses will make you hallucinate. The other one will kill you instantly. Which one is it? Fear fungus.
That's one of the Japanese game shows.
It's like the blue pill or the red pill.
We don't go that far.
Oh. Anyway, it's time for
Yeah, let's break
time
it.
for a break.
Let's break it.
So when we come back, we will start going into some of the predictions of pandemic. Because I know, like I said, Sylvia Brown and Nostradamus, and who knows?
All right, and we'll be back with you guys in 5 minutes.
Hey everyone, Cole here with S4. Make sure you join us March 27th through 29th, 2020 in Seaside, Oregon at the Oregon Ghost Conference. This is their 9th year running with a lot of great things happening, including speakers, vendors, events, and workshops that you can all get in on. So make sure you get your tickets soon at www.oregonghostconference.com. We'll see you there.
You are listening to S4 on Spreaker.com.
They say I'm evil, they say I'm dead inside. Check out my ego, cause I'm rotted here tonight. Just burn me like a witch, and watch as I catch fire. But I cannot die, I am your poltergeist. I must have 1,000 souls trapped inside. 1,000 souls that are haunting in my eye. You keep trying to kill me, but I cannot die. You try to ignore me, but I haunt you deep inside. You keep trying to kill me, but I cannot die. You try to ignore me, but I haunt you deep inside. They say I'm evil, they say I'm dead inside. Check out my ego, cause I brought it here tonight. Just burn me like a witch, and watch as I catch fire. But I cannot die, I am your poltergeist. Poltergeist, poltergeist. Poltergeist, poltergeist. Poltergeist, poltergeist. Poltergeist, poltergeist. I'll eat your dreams while you immerse in all of your hate. Just waste away like you're destined by your fate. I'll be alive but I'm dead to watch you die. So go ahead and take my life, I dare you to try it. You keep trying to kill me, but I cannot die. You try to ignore me, but I haunt you deep inside. You keep trying to kill me, but I cannot die. You try to ignore me, but I haunt you deep inside. They say I'm evil, they say I'm dead inside. Check out my ego, cause I brought it here tonight. Just burn me like a witch, and watch as I catch fire. But I cannot die, I am your poltergeist. Poltergeist, poltergeist. Poltergeist, poltergeist. Oh, poltergeist, poltergeist. Poltergeist, poltergeist. Oh, you're caving in, the loss of sleep keeps you obsessing on your pride. But in the end, you let me in. They say I'm evil, they say I'm dead inside. Check out my ego, cause I'm rotted here tonight. Just burn me like a witch, and watch as I catch fire. But
back to S4 with your host, Eric Cooper.
Welcome back to S4. So we had to change up our topic at the last minute. Tonight we're talking pandemics in general, but we're going to talk about disaster preparedness as well later on in the show. A lot of people are...
Whoa, hold on.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to join me and Eric at the Oregon Ghost Conference, March 27th through 29th. We will be there all 3 days with our S4 booth.
And possibly in May at the McMinnville UFO Festival for one day.
You still can't say that name, and neither can I.
What's that?
McMinnville or McMinnville or...
No, so...
Mickermanville?
I told you the history of it. So the history of the UFO Festival happened in McMinnville.
This time you got it right.
So I know they call it MacMan something. But
I have never heard the mayor say, "Welcome to MacMan something."
Oh, but no. So back in, do you remember the year, Markham? I think it was 52, wasn't it? Do you remember that case?
Which one?
The UFO photo over the barn in McMinnville, Oregon.
Oh, post Kenneth Arnold.
No, Kenneth Arnold was 47.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I say it was post Kenneth Arnold.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, you'll get this.
I think it was the 50s.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're right. The guy took that. It's just like, it's obviously just one of those weird.
Well, I can't remember her
something shots.
And I can't remember her name, but she came out of her house, and there was a very large UFO over the barn, and she got a picture of it, and it became world famous.
McMinnville, Oregon, United States in 1950.
1950. There you go. I knew it was after Kenneth Arnold. Kenneth Arnold was the first one that coined the term flying saucer. Anyway, but
Frank Banker.
But ever since then, they've had this UFO festival, and it's a 3-day, and we will be there for the street fair. They're only having vendors for the street fair, so May 16th, and then of course
it was 1950.
1950.
In August, we'll be at the Skagit County Fair.
August will be at the Skagit County Fair. July 4th will be in the Lago Rodeo Parade in Cedar Woolley, Washington. And September 4th through 6th, don't miss it, folks, the International Bigfoot Conference in Kennewick, Washington, where you can hear Dr. Lundgren, you can hear, oh, God damn it.
Well, if you come by the booth, you can hear me talk.
Exactly.
Come on down.
But, yeah, lots of events we're going to be going to. And, of course, this summer we will be... the S4 research team next Saturday. If you're on the S4 research team, expeditionary team, be here at the studio 2 p.m. for tacos.
Tacos are going to be about 2:30. I got to work.
Or later. No, that's fine. Or later. But we will have our first team meeting next Saturday, the 7th, to discuss team plans, gear we're going to need, things like that.
Absolutely. So Joyce posted in here during the break, COVID-19 treatment co-created by UBC researcher begins clinical trial. And all I got to say to that is, do you want zombie apocalypse? Because that's how you get zombie apocalypse. I would not want to be the ones testing that clinical trial.
Nope. What's your opinion of clinical trials, Markham?
Well, I've actually been part of one and worked in a laboratory that produced them.
Are you a zombie? And
my own personal experience has been that very stringent, as far as the facility where the trial was being held, the controls were extremely stringent. It was, it's... Now, what happens to them once they get past us, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, for the most part, the ones that I have been part of were very well run and, had very stringent controls. So I think that for as far as getting the raw data, I think they're legit. I think it's when you got a big pharmaceutical company though, and you don't give them the answer they want, they're
Right.
gonna hide what they need to hide and spin what they need to spin. Whenever
And then
you
they
watch a drug commercial, whenever you watch for something on TV, some drug commercial, and they start spitting out that list of side effects can include blah 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 blah
Right.
blah blah
Explosive
death,
diarrhea.
blah blah
and
blah
death.
blah. That is because somebody in that study, it might only been one person, but that symptom appeared in at least one person.
Right.
Yeah, but okay, so when you're gathering all that data and everything, so if it says may cause like migraines, may cause diarrhea, may cause this or that, okay, small things that people have all the time, how would they necessarily know that that was related to the drug? Or is it just something that happened to one of the people in the trial and they're like, well, I guess it could cause that?
Most
No,
people
because if you're in a
have
trial
migraine.
before they take a sample, you are assessed you're asked a series of questions, your temperature's taken. I mean, you get a mini physical each time the sample is drawn.
Okay.
That's why they pay for some of these, because it's strenuous on us as the lab staff, but it's also strenuous on the patient. Some of these studies, they actually have little rooms for them to sleep in, because you're looking at something that might be a 12-hour cycle.
So
yeah,
if
you're
it,
given sort of a mini physical. If you have diarrhea, or if you're not physically fit before sample time, you're probably not going to get drawn. So
So
what
if
you've
it
got
says-
is somebody who emerges, it comes out after they get the drug. And of course, double blind. They'll know who got the drug, who got the placebo. And if somebody receiving the drug, the understudy, gets the squirts or, has this reaction, they've narrowed it down to where it was the drug that caused it.
Okay.
so what if it says may cause death? Does that mean somebody died?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you get anaphylactic reactions, and some of these places, are kind of flung out to where you've got trained medical staff on hand, but you can't save everyone. Sometimes you just have somebody that has their body shuts down. There's something about the drug that
Yep.
the body rejected completely. So yeah, it can.
As to what you said, Kayla, I can't speak for the whole group, but I don't have diarrhea most of the time. You might want to
Yeah,
take a
I
look at
don't
that.
No, I'm just. Oh, Jesus. You know what I mean. God.
Oh.
What if steroids was a drug, right? And it was to make you lose weight, but instead the symptom is it gave you a whole bunch of mass and muscle.
That's what steroids do, dude.
Yeah, I know, but
No,
you
but
said
what if
you
it started
tested
out as a
weight loss
drug
thing.
that was a weight loss?
A
or weight
dietary
loss?
supplement.
Hey, a lot of drugs that start out as something end up being something entirely different in the end.
Yeah, off-label usage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot
Like
of drugs
Bailey.
that are used for like depression that are also used for seizure disorders and different things like that.
Yeah, trileptal.
Topamax.
Oh, God. Yeah, Topamax, Dilantin. There's a lot of. It's called off-label usage. If the drug is primarily, what was that one? Propecia. The hair loss thing was actually a prostate cancer drug.
And it made
I don't
the
know
hair
if they
fall.
still use that or not, but
I
yeah,
don't
they're
know.
they'll through the course of treatment they'll find out that this guy's hair is growing back while we're treating his prostate. What's the common factor here? And it was the drug they were using for the prostate treatment.
Huh.
That's why that was the one that women were not supposed to handle, look at, be in the same room with. They had
Right.
a list of precautions on that one because of the genetics and the efficacy was strictly related to men, and the female, the estrogen could interact with it. It could cause birth defects. It was not to be used. It was a cancer drug, so it was not to be touched or handled by, women.
Huh. Okay. So, let's go to the woo factor briefly for a little bit. And what did you find out? You found out something about The Simpsons.
All right, so The Simpsons, in a roundabout way, did predict a virus like this in a 1993 episode. Season 4, episode 21, entitled Margin Chains. The episodes show the residents of Springfield dealing with an outbreak of Osaka flu, which spreads after a factory worker coughs into a box sent to the United States.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yes.
Mr. Sparkles.
And it's all the little red dots.
Yeah.
Which, if you see rendering from the CDC of the coronavirus, it is a red dot.
Well,
and it just surrounds their faces every time they open a box. So, but the thing is, someone took this a lot farther on Twitter in January, and there is a part on it where Kent Brockman, the TV news anchor, is sitting there, and he's got a sign next to him that says "Apocalypse Meow," and it's got a picture of a kitten. And someone wrote over that coronavirus with Photoshop. And so they posted that and said that they directly predicted it. They didn't directly predict it, but it is close enough that I would call this another Simpsons prediction.
Huh. But, pandemics happen every, 10 years?
Yes, they do. And it's amazing how many of them are named after Asian things because they start in Asia. That's kind of messed up.
It is.
Yeah, but that's where civilization started,
maybe
too, so come on now.
Instead of a nuke, we drop a Lysol bomb on Asia.
Or we just don't.
If we just disinfect everything there,
it should be okay.
No more problems.
But, playing devil's advocate, I think it's easy enough for predictions to come up with, there's going to be a pandemic. Well, yeah, sure enough.
It is, but at the same time, The Simpsons has been correct so many times, it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
Donald Trump being president.
Running against Lisa.
Losing to Lisa.
Yeah.
And the mess he left for her.
Yeah.
And then numerous other things that have happened during their 30 seasons. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, but you also got to look at the writers. They aren't dumb people.
No, they're not. They, I think 4 of them have Ivy League degrees.
Didn't you say one of them was on the Bilderberg list?
Yes.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. They have inside information, man.
And we're going to be doing a show on the Bilderbergs here in a couple months.
Ooh, I can't wait.
It's going to take a while. Guys, it's going to be a lot of research, because what I want to do is take each name on the Bilderberg list and do an extensive background on each one of them and see where they are today in politics.
Great, we're getting shot.
All right. Kayla's going to be busy for the next couple of months.
Huh?
I'm going to be busy for the next couple of months.
But what I want to do too is, and I might put somebody else on this task, is look at the Bohemian Grove list. I've got that list somewhere. It's in my house.
Now, another thing with the whole prediction thing is many of us know Sylvia Brown. In 2000,
Yep.
I don't like
some of her stuff has been right, some of it's been wrong.
Isn't that every
Yes.
single... Yeah.
So in 2008, she wrote a book called "End of Days: Predictions and Prophecies About the End of the World." She was a co-writer on it. In it claims and this is a direct quote from the book, in around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. No, it's... We do have to say that even though there is no known treatment yet for coronavirus, your own human system does fight it.
Yeah, like I said, it's usually the elderly and the children who don't have an developed enough immune system to fight it that you have to watch.
Actually, they say children are the best ones for it right now.
Do they?
Yeah.
You guys are dead.
Apparently, I'm 51. So
Well,
yeah.
when I worked at a cancer center that dealt with kids, you can, because of the elasticity and the reactivity of a kid's immune system, you can be much more aggressive in treating their cancers than you can with an adult. They'll bounce back from things that would kill you and me.
So,
it's like, oh my God, you see the dosages, you see the treatment regimen, you think, oh my God, how do they survive that?
So
not only do they survive it, but they're in situations that would put us at death's door, and they're getting out there and having wig fights.
Isn't there a movie about that? All the adults die and the kids stick over the...
There's a couple. Lord of the Flies. I know.
Right. Not counting Village of the Damned, but yeah.
Children of the Corn. No.
Children of the Corn.
What was that movie called, though? It was like The In-Between or something. That was all people that were younger than 28. Everybody under the age of 28.
40 movies of that.
Friggin' over the
age
of 28. And the
Twilight episode. Twilight Zone episode, too.
Yeah, that's where it all started. In the Twilight Zone.
And so what was the Nostradamus? The Nostradamus prediction also was very generic.
I sent you that one.
I know the passage reads, "The great plague of the maritime city will not cease until there be avenged the death of the just blood condemned for a price without crime of the great lady outraged by pretense." That's not very...
No. Just a disclaimer for the Sylvia Brown thing. Just so you know, we do not
condone.
Yeah, I'd say condone her. Because
we don't endorse
Sylvia Brown. If she was correct in all of the things that she said, paralysis and Parkinson's disease have been gone since 2012, and as of this year, there will be no blind people. So,
what?
Jordy, you're doing good.
You know what ruined it for Sylvia Brown was when there were two...
Was it the missing kids thing?
The missing kids.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And she told the parents that their missing kids were gone, deceased. And so everyone stopped looking for them. Well, these missing kids were actually locked up in a basement. Managed to get away on their own because nobody was looking for them. Because, hey, Sylvia Brown said they were dead. No.
Did they catch the guy?
I don't remember.
Because if they didn't, maybe they should check Sylvia Brown's Craigslist and see if she was trying to sell two kids in China.
Right.
Just saying.
In China. Okay.
Where else do you sell kids? I don't know.
Well, not...
That's where I'd go.
Geez. Wow.
What?
You're a terrible person.
And again, going to predictions, I think it's too easy to predict. For me, anyway. Things like pandemics. Now, what's interesting... Okay, Izzy says in the chat it was a woman, not a kid, Amanda Berry. So it was a woman that was missing.
Her name's Amanda Berry.
Yeah, Amanda Berry.
Stop it!
But I think it's too easy to say, oh, yep, there's going to be a big disease. It's going to kill a bunch of people.
Okay, the one thing that I've noticed between all people that has supposed prophecies are very, very few of them are direct with their prophecies. Okay?
Right.
So they aren't sitting there saying, hey, at 2:15 p.m., a guy named Bob is going to come out onto his front porch and shoot this guy named Harold. No, they're not doing that. They're saying, at some given hour, at some given time, in some given country, death will happen.
Right.
Okay.
And
You just killed Harold. Way to go, Kayla.
Hey,
It's cool.
so
Kumar's still alive.
Sylvia Brown didn't write the book. She
co-wrote it, which means someone else wrote the book. I think she just gave the predictions.
And with that one, not that I like Sylvia Brown. I don't like the woman, but that's a pretty specific prediction with it affects the bronchial tubes in the lungs and it's pneumatic.
Yeah, but how many of them are? How many diseases affect your breathing?
Markham?
Almost all of them.
She's got you there, bud.
Markham?
Yeah.
How many overall pandemics are respiratory?
A great deal, a great many of them. I would say statistically, probably 90%, because they're spread by respiratory droplets.
Right.
So they're
tuberculosis.
Lung is figure somewhere in your airway. It's that's where it's at. So yeah, I would say better than 90%. I mean, AIDS was weird because it was bloodborne, and there's not that many. There's not that many like hepatitis. The ones they drill into us in every year when we have to take our bloodborne disease test, it's things like AIDS, hepatitis. Most diseases are spread through respiratory droplets or some kind of fluid passing from one person to another.
So it's a fair assessment to say even with a bronchial respiratory prediction, it's still BS.
It still covers 90% of the possibilities.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I used to read tarot cards, and one of the things I realized the meanings behind these cards. Like you take the companion book for the Rider-Waite deck.
Right.
They, this card does not mean specifically this thing. They're sort of a broad range of interpretation.
Absolutely. And, so many people get, oh, my God, I got the death card. Oh, I'm going to die. Are you going to die? Death means rebirth or change.
Or stagnation,
Yeah.
The one that really will screw your day up is if you're doing the Celtic Cross and Staff, and the final outcome card is
the Tower.
I think it's the 9 or 10 of Swords, or the Tower of Destruction.
Yep,
Those
Tower.
two are like, oh, bugger.
the Tower. Yep. the Tower is usually a pretty drastic card to pull.
Don't.
What?
Shh, nothing.
Okay.
Let's continue.
So, and the purpose of tonight's show, too, is, I've gotten a lot of messages from individuals upriver, and people are panicked. And I get that. And there's someone else that wants us to hold a community meeting and bring someone in to talk about it.
No.
So let's go all into one building and cough on each other. Okay.
Well, no, fair enough, because we've done community meetings in the past. But and Joyce is in here. Are we going to be able to keep this from coming upriver? Well, if it's going to come upriver, it's going to come upriver. There's not a whole lot you can do to stop it.
Just before Bird's View, we
okay.
put a blockades and shoot anything that comes near us.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the deal, though: is if you think about the upriver community, how many people that live in the upriver community work in the upriver community?
Not many. Most go downriver.
Most of them go downriver to
Yeah.
the cities, to the nearest cities. Okay? So there's no way to stop the spread of something that's going to spread.
No.
If it's going to spread, it's going to
Yeah,
spread.
but
There's no
90%
stopping
of us
it.
drink from at least one creek here a year. So, like, if we can survive beaver fever, we're good.
Bigfoot
Oh,
fever?
I do think, the bottom line is get your kids to get in the practice of washing their hands
Absolutely.
with soap and water. If your kids are sick, again, the common theme here is if you have a fever, get to the doctor to be tested. Get it
Okay.
identified as soon as you can. If that's
you
what
have
it
a
is.
fever that does not stop, like
Right.
if you have a fever of like 99, you take an Advil, you lay down for a minute, and your fever's gone. You probably don't need to run them to an emergency room.
No.
Okay, and honestly, don't go to the emergency room for it. Make an appointment with your doctor or go to a walk-in clinic. The emergency room should be strictly for emergencies.
Absolutely.
This is no kidding. I witnessed this at the last place I worked. A young lady was being brought to the ER by her mother, and she was practicing her cheerleading routine on her way to the emergency room door with all the hand gestures, cartwheels, and if you, it infuriates me when I see that kind of misuse. That is such a waste of time, resources. If your kid can practice their frickin' cheerleading routine in the parking lot on their way to the ER door, they don't need to be at the ER.
No.
Unless they're not
straight up.
actually a cheerleader and are hallucinating. Okay?
Like,
Well,
No, this
if we
kid
took
was-
Eric
no.
after he hit
Right.
his head with that tree and he was doing cartwheels and stuff and saying, "Go team, go!" Okay, yeah, we're taking him in.
And
Well,
absolutely.
yeah,
like,
if there's a difference between being delusional
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
some A-bag that wants to get a day off, so they're trying to use their kid, as an excuse to stay home the next day.
Well, and I mean no offense here at all when I say this, but there's a lot of people that if they're on like state insurance or something of that nature, you have as many ER visits as you need, and it doesn't come out of your pocket. It doesn't come out of the money that you're making to pay for it. So with that in mind, there's a lot of people that use it like a doctor's office because of the fact that they don't actually want to go through the process of making an appointment, taking time off work, all of this other stuff. But that takes away from the people that are actually in need of a doctor and are in need of an emergency setting.
Yeah, and like he says, or no insurance at all, ER can't turn you away. Also, let the doctor's office know your symptoms so they can take the appropriate steps to protect the other patients. If it is coronavirus, especially.
Now, I'm just going to throw this at you, but up here in this area, if you do not have medical coverage for whatever reason, you are able to make an appointment based on your income at CMAR.
Right.
Go and make an appointment.
And it's cheap.
They base it on your income. It's like, it would be like what we paid a copay. It'd be like $20 for you to go in and see a doctor and get everything done that you need done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I don't have regular insurance, and so my copay with CMAR is $40 an appointment. That's not bad.
No.
And they'll see me for anything.
Anything?
Oh yeah.
I have a good toe sucking service.
All right.
Anyways,
All right. So, were there any predictions that predicted this realistically?
None of them
No.
ever are going to.
I thought.
as
Yeah,
you
they're
said,
so
it's a
vague.
pandemic.
They're
Huh?
so vague and broadly spoken that, it's almost like if you want to, I'm sure you can find somebody who said something that sounded close enough. I mean, it's like the experiment where they handed out, they got several different papers
Right.
and passed them out to this class and said, okay, read your horoscope. How close? And it was like, for the same sign, say Taurus, each paper had a different horoscope.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of you word it vaguely enough that
and it fits a majority.
your brain kind of fills in it's like cold reading. Your brain kicks in and fills in the blanks, and you can make it sound like that's so spot on, when really it's just a bunch of vague generalities.
No,
It's the equivalent of throwing enough crap at the wall to see what sticks.
I am going to throw out that I really do believe that there are specific people out there. But, I mean, this is like a 1 in a billion person out there that can predict certain events. But not every event either. This is very sporadic, very random, and it might even only happen once in a lifetime. But I do believe that there are people out there that have what is called the sight, or can see something in the close future, or something that affects a very specific group of people, or something of this nature. But it is not by choice. It is whenever it happens.
Yeah.
Most of them don't even remember actually doing the prediction of what happened.
The one that weirds me out is, have you ever seen those cats that walk into, like, that they live in nursing homes? And the room that they walk into, if they sit on the patient's bed, that patient is dead the next day.
Cats?
Yeah, cats.
It is a well-known thing that
cats.
there's...
Cats can...
Cats can tell that
do,
stuff, though.
They see into the infrared.
Well, and
Cats
not only
see things that we don't.
But, like, can you imagine
they
that?
smell things that we don't.
You just got into
I've
this
been-
nursing room, and you're sitting there, and this cat walks in and sits down, and everyone's like, oh.
Oh,
and
I'm
you're like,
so
why?
sorry.
It's
Well,
a nice kitty.
Also, don't once an urban myth or something like that gets established, don't rule out the placebo effect or the effect of belief.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want that's self-fulfilling prophecies. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. If someone told me that I'm going to die because this cat said so, that cat's going to die first.
I hate to bring it up like this, but I'm going to bring it up like this. Harry Potter, okay? So if you look at Harry Potter and Professor Trelawney that supposedly predicted the whole thing from Harry Potter being the chosen one and scarred and all that crap, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's how it...
Yes.
That's a more believable thing than...
Now, but see, the thing is that that's what I believe true prophecy actually is. That she might not even know that she did it, and she's never going to be able to recreate that. It's just every once in a while something pops in. Whether it's otherworldly, whether it's... who knows what it is.
So like Final Destination?
Sometimes somebody can see something that isn't. And for some reason, it's accurate. Like I said, I think that's like a 1 in a billion thing, and it doesn't happen to the same person more than maybe twice in a lifetime, if that.
Absolutely. And let's see here. So there are, according to this news source, there are confirmed coronavirus cases in at least 50 countries on 6 continents. More than 2,800 patients have died, and which makes it a pandemic under the World Health Organization.
I wonder what continent it isn't hit.
Huh?
Nah. It's not a pandemic until a penguin in Antarctica dies.
Okay.
So we're still good.
Oh, it's got to be in more. There's an epidemic, which is say your entire high school or a community,
right?
An epidemic,
right?
Or a specific country. Once it crosses international borders, say it starts in Botswana and it ends up in Nepal and New York City. Okay, now you're talking pandemic. It has, broadened its reach, and once it escapes international, a national border and becomes international, then you're a pandemic.
Yeah, but wouldn't pretty much all of them be now with all the airfare and all of the travel and everything that everybody does, all of the trade routes and everything? Wouldn't pretty much
makes it easier.
one of them be a pandemic status then?
Oh yeah, I would think so. Well, yeah, I mean it's easier to spread when you think of an 8 to 12 hour flight using recirculated air in a pressurized cabin of an aircraft. Yeah.
Right. Oh, well, you think about like
good chance to
okay.
spread.
So like random guy boxes up something for eBay that he sold in Italy. So he didn't wash his hands that day. He boxed it up. He sent it. UPS guy factory picks it all up. They'd go through the whole process. So everybody that touched it from there on out. And then the UPS guy himself, all of the places that he goes after he put it in the truck. And then everywhere everybody else goes that touches whatever package he brought and sat on their porch. Like,
well, keep in mind, it takes a lot of times. It takes more than one of anything
to
for
sure.
create the disease.
Right.
So if you've got something like that, the odds are less because you're dealing with a smaller quantity of the infectious agent. You know, it depends on virulence, of course, and there's a lot of things like that don't survive. You know, they might be deadly in the human body, but once they get out of the human body, they're desiccation sensitive, or there's things in the environment. Once it gets out of its preferred growing environment, it's not prepared. It can't really.
So I have no idea on
like
this,
that.
But is that why all of the letters and the stamps now, you no longer lick them and stick it on there? It's all just this sticky adhesive stuff? Is that part of stopping the spread of stuff? No? No,
I think that was just a matter of it was just easier to put they changed the adhesive technology. When you consider that when the stamps first came out, it was basically like horse mucilage type, glue.
Right.
Adhesive science has come a long way. I mean, you get those things now in the mail where it's attached to a flyer. You get a card attached to something that looks like a clear booger. I mean, that's
right.
Adhesive.
Yeah.
And I think it was just, a lot of people didn't want to lick the stamps, and it was just it was just a natural evolution of product development.
Did you guys ever have flavored ones in the U.S.?
Flavored stamps?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Canada Post brought out...
Somebody did. I remember somebody had sort of a minty...
Oh, no, like we had
value or...
There was like strawberry ones, and they were fruit flavors.
So you're just sitting there eating stamps? Nom, nom.
I don't
If you're rich
remember.
enough to eat a book of stamps, you're doing good.
Well, I can remember when stamps were considered currency.
Yeah.
There were certain civic off. You paid your gas bill, or when before the days of internet and all that, people would pay give change in stamps, postage stamps, because a post stamp is worth what's on it.
Right. So
legal tender, so to speak.
I'm looking at this article, and it really causes a dilemma because a lot of people don't have health insurance. So if you don't have insurance, you're not going to be prone to go see the doctor if you're sick.
Nope.
Like a lot of people, like others. Wouldn't that be a cause for concern of the spread of coronavirus?
Absolutely.
What do you think, Markham?
Rephrase that again.
So, a lot of people without health insurance aren't going to go see a doctor when they get sick, and if they have coronavirus, wouldn't that be a cause for issue?
Actually, they would probably stay within their own. If they're like me, I get sick with something like that. I drink some liquid, crawl into bed, and say, lock the door behind me and say, "Leave me the hell alone." So that would actually cause an isolation effect and would probably keep the spread.
No, because Markham, you got to realize
goes to work, goes here, goes there, spreads it around. That's going to.
You're a scientist.
Spread.
So you're around this stuff a lot, and you know exactly what you should be doing. The problem is, a lot of these people can't afford to do that. They can't afford to take the time off work. They can't afford to not go to a grocery store. They can't afford not to not leave their house. They have to actually continue going out and doing stuff.
Yes, but
Well,
okay.
that's me. I don't have insurance. I'm a contract worker. If I'm not on the job, I got jacked.
Yeah,
So
and that's
my choice is drink some fluids and wait it out.
and that's like what Izzy says. Even with the insurance, many people won't go to a doctor because they can't afford to miss work. You go to work, puke in the bathroom, go back to work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to have this cold medication. We still do in Canada. It's called Buckley's Mixture, and their motto has been for the last 50 years. Mm-hmm. It tastes like crap, but it works. And it's true. We used to drink that stuff by the bottle in the winter.
Right.
Friend, you'd have a bottle like a flask in your pocket, and friend, you'd sit there and drink it and go to work.
See, here, it's a Jim Beam rye whiskey.
Okay, but at the same time, look
My
at...
job, you couldn't drink that, I was told.
Oh, no. When I was 8, Mom would give me a real half a shot, watered down, warmed up, of Jim Beam rye whiskey. And that was it's so strong, it's a kill-all.
Okay, but you said that this disease is in 50 different countries at this point?
Yep.
Okay. Now, looking at that, does it really matter if you go to the doctor or not? Because of the fact that how many of those countries have socialized health care? How many of them actually have health care for everybody and it's still spread and it's still...
Socialized health care is big in Europe. And a lot of these,
and
Italy,
a lot of these countries are in Europe.
France.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't see where it would honestly make that big of a difference as far as a pandemic.
Apparently it doesn't in Italy and France, and I don't know if they have socialized health care either.
Right.
So, yeah.
I know France does.
Okay.
France has free to everybody health care. But obviously it didn't make that big of a difference to have
it's
insurance
hard
versus
in
not
France.
having. Exactly. So in the scheme of a pandemic, I don't think that really having insurance or not having insurance is going to make a big difference.
No.
As far as the spread of it.
Not from the looks of it.
Well, coronavirus is in Canada, but it's all in Quebec and Ontario, so...
How many cases do we have in the United States?
What, 8?
I think we're over 50 confirmed cases.
Are we now? It was 8
Yeah, I know
a
it's
week
spread.
ago. So
Izzy also...
8 in Washington.
maybe it was just Washington.
Italy also has universal coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
see, that's what I'm saying though. Is as far as a
it's not
pandemic,
gonna
it doesn't
affect
really
them.
seem to
No.
care if you have insurance or not.
well, but again,
Right.
people have to go to work.
Technically, not in France. Okay, and I'm not trying to be an ass when I say that, but you have so many wellness days in France. They have what's called wellness days, where you can call in any given day and take one of your wellness days. Mm-hmm. They'll pay for spa treatment, they'll pay for whatever, because it's a mental health thing. Okay?
But how
I
much
did that
tourism
one.
do they have?
What?
I
How much
called in
tourism-
well.
Huh?
Yes, you
I
can
called
call in
in well once.
How
It
much?
was a beautiful day, and my father-in-law and I, my late father-in-law and I decided it was a day for fishing, not for working. I called up and said, I'm not going to be in today. It's too pretty out. I'm going to go fishing with my father-in-law.
How much tourism do
You
they
can't
have?
do that.
Yes.
And I sure did.
A Canadian family was already booted from a Paris-bound flight over the coronavirus
Dang.
Wow.
because they were scared that they were going to bring it more to Paris.
Yeah.
Well, look at you. Okay, a lot of the places where this stuff is spreading too, you've got cultural considerations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at the Asian population and the African population in a place like Ontario or Toronto, and keep in mind that you've got multiple generations living in the same. You know, so I had a friend from Somalia. She was the only one with an above room temperature IQ. And she had her mom, her dad, I mean, she was supporting 4 generations of her family and they all lived in one home. So
Right.
you've
The thing
also
is,
got
there's a lot
that
of that
helping
here,
to
too.
spread.
Well, you got that with the Hispanic population here.
You have that with every population here. I'm sorry, the cost of living right now is so high that people have to double up in order to live.
Wait, we have a wonderful economy, I thought. You know, and
the model is going very well.
You have to look.
No, I mean, there is the cultural aspect of it, where there are a lot of cultures that do that on a regular basis, no matter what the economy is like, no matter what, because that's how they were raised. That all of the family lives under one roof. You got your grandpa, you got your mom and dad, and you got you and your kids all in one space. Yes, but because of all of the other crap that's going on with the economy and everything else, you got that in populations that wouldn't necessarily do that before.
Okay, so here's the thing. Places like India, the United States, and China, we are going to get hit the hardest. And it is not because our differences in healthcare, it's not our differences in
cleanliness,
honestly, culture. It's the fact that there's so many people packed into those three countries that we can't not get hit hard.
Right. It's population.
Right. Population density.
You go to Canada even, and yes, there's big cities, but nowhere near what there is here, and everyone's spread out. Mm-hmm. My dad couldn't believe it when he came here, and down I-5, you go from one city, leave it, and you're in another one.
Yeah.
Like, it never stopped.
I will tell you, in
you can
Alberta,
go 45
you can go
minutes.
Friggin' hours before you hit another little gas station.
Oh yeah,
Okay?
I know.
Like,
when we went to Dave, last year.
Yeah,
2 years. Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Oh God, you couldn't find a gas station open. You couldn't find a gas station for miles.
No, we're all busy drinking.
Uh-huh.
It's after 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Nah.
No. So,
Speaking of which, did you see that meme for the coronavirus thing?
Which one?
It was a guy's Tinder profile, and it said, man with coronavirus looking for girl with Lyme disease.
Oh God. No, I didn't see that, but I can only imagine. Yeah.
And then
I like the one that says it won't last long. It's made in China.
Well, and then Corona, their own Twitter feed, they actually put, "Please stop asking about us about the virus. We have nothing to do with this."
Oh, yeah. Hey, Joyce's blackberry brandy works well too.
They say elderberry. I read an article. I've been trying to vet it because this kind of crap comes out, and I always think there's some kind of market pressure there. We've got too many elderberries, so let's create a post that says elderberries cure. But they're saying that elderberries do block viruses from being able to replicate in the cell, or they keep them from being able to attach.
They
first
said
part of any of this is attachment to the human cell.
Right.
They said the same thing about high doses of turmeric.
Turmeric.
Turmeric
is a anti-inflammatory. It does have that. It does.
What was the other one? The
that.
herbal supplement, skullcap.
Skullcap,
or St. John's wort, something like. They're basically the same, those two. But yeah, about it.
One of the things to consider is the pharmaceutical companies send ethnobiologists out all over the world to find the natural medicine.
Oh, absolutely.
And of course, then they bring it back and turn it into a prescription.
Right.
So that you have to buy it from them, and people forget.
You can just go out to this planet and
you
boil
think of
it
it
down.
as an antibiotic.
Yeah. Honestly,
the antibiotic they cured the lung disease. People used to have good sanatoriums for things.
TB?
I'm drawing blank. Yeah, it was a soil bacteria.
Tuberculosis?
Yes, TB was cured by a common soil bacteria, streptomyces. You've got streptomyces.
Well, they say, and I don't know how true it is or not, but they say that every disease on the face of the planet has a cure already built into the planet.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
It's just a matter of finding it.
Oh.
And hoping that we didn't
that.
make that
Well,
whatever strain of whatever
for
go
the most
extinct
part,
before then.
If
It's
you
all
consider a meteor a
it's
disease,
all lock and key.
the
I
dinosaurs
mean,
would
if
be.
you've got this happening, if you got a disease process happening, there's probably from an earth-based organic cause.
Yeah.
Well, and
there's
I'm
a
saying
lot.
there
well,
there
the key
would
is out
be.
there somewhere.
It might be, but the problem is with the human population and the fact that we keep growing and I don't know, building our duplexes or whatever on top of the natural forest that was there, and maybe this plant only grew in this specific area of this specific place, and now there's a 2,000 complex
Shopping
apartment building
on
there.
top of the turmeric.
So yes, I believe that at some point there might have been a cure to every disease that ever was going to happen, but I don't know that there still is.
I think
we've never touched the bottom of that
we need to look
ocean.
at more biologics than. The problem is the trend has been for the last 100 years big pharma. Big pharma.
Yeah.
You find something, rush it off to big pharma so we can quantify it, call it something else, and charge for it. And people have gotten away from just looking for their environmental or their medicinal herbs. And I think we need to look into, we've got vancomycin-resistant enterococcus. We've got multi-drug-resistant TB. Well, let's find, these things have enemies within the biological world. I think it's what we need to do as a informed populace is try to find what natural enemies these things have. Anything out there that's anything out there probably has something that eats it.
Well, it reminds me of the movie called Patriot. I'm trying to remember who was in it.
Mel Gibson?
No, it wasn't Mel
not
Gibson.
that Patriot then.
No. Steven Seagal.
Oh, okay.
Steven Seagal was in it, and there was an epidemic, a biological hazard, and I think his ex-wife was affected. She was a nurse, and the end result was, the Native Americans weren't getting this biological hazard, this epidemic, and they started asking why. Well, the Native Americans were picking wildflowers, and they were drinking tea, and that right there was the cure for the biological hazard.
We smoked them, don't lie.
No, they drank them. Oh, yeah, right. But perfect point. There's a cure for everything we get right here on our own planet. It
has to come from something. Okay,
yeah.
So it has to come from something, and if it comes from something, then something has to be able to kill it.
Is that how you say that?
Huh?
Homeopathy?
Yeah.
Homeopathy.
Homeopathy is natural cures.
Yeah, we have a friend that does that in Seattle, and I can never pronounce what she does.
Yeah, it's homeopathy. So basically, if you start drinking herbal tea, that is an immune booster.
Mm-hmm. She's a holistic doctor, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, and to be honest, there's a lot of people that have gone back to the holistic versus big pharma because of the fact that, well, we're in a little bit more of an enlightened age right now as far as outside of big pharma goes.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off there.
We're fortunate.
Eric, I got to cut you off. We are going to go for a break. And we will be back with you guys in another 5 minutes, so stay with us.
Hey everyone, Cole here with S4. Make sure you join us March 27th through 29th, 2020 in Seaside, Oregon at the Oregon Ghost Conference. This is their 9th year running with a lot of great things happening, including speakers, vendors, events, and workshops that you can all get in on. So make sure you get your tickets soon at www.oregonghostconference.com. We'll see you there.
You are listening to S4 on Spreaker.com.
4 with your host, Eric Cooper.
Welcome back to S4. How y'all doing tonight? So yeah, we're sitting here talking about pandemics and disaster preparedness and pandemic preparedness. And you know what? So the bottom line is, Izzy said it really well in the chat room. Coronavirus is a virus. Majority of the time, treatments for viruses, you just treat the symptoms. Your immune system is what fights the infection. So if you have a boosted immune system, that will help you fight the virus. Which is why I want to talk about naturopathy, homeopathy. So some of the herbs, if you start a regime of herbal tea, some of the immune boosting tea you can drink would be echinacea will be one.
Cocaine.
No. Cocaine, no. No.
You won't feel sick.
So I know ginger, echinacea.
Garlic.
I wouldn't drink garlic tea, but put garlic on your food.
No,
Garlic cookies.
Garlic tea.
Oh, God, no.
Garlic
Keeps
tea.
the vampires away, too.
I could, no.
Elderberries.
Elderberry wine. There you go. Irma Bowd.
Dandelion.
Huh?
Grandma used to drink
Dandelion on that list?
Dandelion wine for common
Yeah.
cold.
So Irma Bowd posted on Facebook earlier tonight about elderberry wine. And yeah.
Weirdly enough, cayenne pepper, too.
I kind of want to see Irma.
Huh?
I want to see Irma tipsy. I gotta say.
Oh.
And Irma, you're gonna hear this, so
Yep.
we got plans now.
We got plans. We're gonna come over to Irma's house for some elderberry wine. Joe says he injects garlic directly into his veins. That's a good vampire cure. Yeah.
Unless you're a vampire.
Well, yeah.
Hurt like hell then.
I can just see a vampire having their veins burst.
I heard cayenne pepper works better, Joe.
Yeah. Well, I've got to plant cayenne pepper in the garden this year. That'll keep the vampires away from the house. Not really. Yeah, absolutely. As he says, Angelica is another. Angelica, though, is a great herb for overall health. If I recall right. Angelica is one of those good for protection, good for health. It's an overall good herb.
Okay, so why is everybody into lavender then? Okay, no, seriously, there is not one product for women
You know what's interesting?
that doesn't have lavender in it.
You have to have a prescription to get lavender tea in Germany. Lavender is that medicinal.
Yeah, but it's
I know
gross.
it's big business in the UK.
It
It
is.
smells bad.
So lavender is
lavender,
great
man.
for, it's a good sleep aid. Lavender is good for just relaxing. Yeah, it is.
No.
It is.
It
Okay.
gives me a headache.
This
Real
guy-
bad.
this
I don't.
guy.
Seriously, I have even fresh lavender sitting on the table.
You probably
would give
got
me a
an allergy
headache.
to it. Just saying.
Well, then it can't be that good for me.
Oh, no, for you, no. Okay, Joe, you're just wrong.
Did you put cayenne pepper on her sister?
No.
Oh,
Well, he
Don't
said he
do
put
that.
cayenne pepper on everything, and then he said he's
No,
never
no,
had
no.
Angelica, but he knows her sister. So
So anyway, moving along. So going to disaster preparedness in general, we always, when we do these shows on disaster preparedness, we talk about having a plan. Most people don't have pandemic on that plan. We've got volcanoes here. We've got earthquake. We've got dam breakage. You got landslides, winter storms, power outages. Pandemic, just generally speaking, is not on that list. Because it's not common. Every 10 years or so.
that's
Yeah, but-
a lot more common than Mount Baker blowing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's
At
every
least I
couple
hope so.
hundred
Or
thousand.
Glacier Peak. Those are your
Yeah.
Glacier Peak's supposed to be more violent than Bacon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys can keep your volcanoes. I don't want to.
No, I don't want them either.
Then why do you live underneath them?
But the UFOs do.
Because this is where I live.
The aliens live volcanoes. That's how they fuel.
I wonder if there's a piezo effect, or is it just thermal energy they're after?
It's thermal energy.
You think that's all it is?
Yeah.
I
How
would
they
think
warm
with
their
the
lavender tea.
I would think with the heaving of a, like, say there's a magma chamber under there,
Could be.
it's expanding and contracting. Could it be causing some kind of a piezoelectric effect?
And you know, and that is very possible. But I think they're using the heat too. I think that's how they're warming up.
But if they're
I'm joking.
reptilians, they don't need to warm up.
Well, right, true, too.
They could just lay on a rock and lick their eyeballs. It'd be just as good.
But anyway, so according to FEMA, I would agree with FEMA completely because they say to prepare for disasters for 3 days. And honestly, I say prepare for a week, especially if you live up here.
I would say it depends on what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Certain ones you want to prepare for like 2 weeks. Because number one, FEMA's not coming to help.
No,
Not up here.
no. Well, your first responders might not get to you either up here.
FEMA may own all the land around us, but it doesn't mean
They
they're
are
going to
the
use
worst
it for
neighbors
anything.
ever.
FEMA?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't even bring us cookies or anything.
Right?
I know, and they're surrounding us on all sides.
And Joe says during a pandemic, it's best to live at the end of the road, at the top of a mountain, surrounded by woods and fully supplied. He's got this covered. Okay, we're coming to see you, Joe. So
Once we get coronavirus.
yeah, and it says never count on FEMA to show up. They're like cops in a slasher flick. Yeah, they don't ever show up. So
That's
yeah,
not
we're
true.
we're coming to stay with Joe.
They are right behind the news cameras in those slasher flicks.
Yeah, they don't ever show up anyway. Hi, Political Woodstock.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
And so, what do you need to stock up on? I would stock up on non-perishables, canned foods, cases of water,
Propane.
propane.
Gas for your generators. If you have generators, I would highly suggest that you get a generator, especially if you live up here.
Yeah.
You're going to use it several times a year just for those power outages.
And the dual fuel ones are really nice to have that run both propane or gas.
Right.
And you get a 100-pound tank with those or with one of those, and you're good for a few days.
And Izzy read my mind. I was just going to go there too. So for your canned foods, don't plan on electricity. Make sure you have a hand can opener,
Yeah, but
or you're just kind of assed out.
But I have a dual fuel generator, so
Well, you know,
everybody's got a knife. You're good.
yeah, that's a pain.
A P-38.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, a P-38 works too.
Only on peas.
No.
Nope, P-38. Eric knows what a P-38
Oh,
is.
absolutely. I've got one. So for our listeners that aren't sure what a P-38 is, it is a military style can opener, basically. Well,
It'll
not
put
basically.
one hell of
It
a callus on the outside of your index.
Yeah, it hurts.
But they
It
work.
hurts.
They'll work. They'll
And
work.
absolutely, Political Woodstock says seeds, have seeds, and yeah, I've already started gathering my seeds for this year's garden. And yeah, if you have the land, I encourage you to have your own garden because, contrary to what a lot of people think, you know, even if the coronavirus does not affect our health, it will affect world economy.
And the thing that people don't really think, rice, noodles, stuff like this is always a good one to have. They last forever.
Oh, I have a case of ramen.
I mean,
charcoal rocks. Charcoal rocks. You can get a big bag of them from Walmart for like $2.
Right.
Those are
Don't try and
always
keep your
helpful to
phone
have.
with them.
Say again?
They have people that die every year because the power goes out and they say, "Hey, I got charcoal," and yeah, it'll consume
most
the oxygen and kill your ass.
No,
But
no,
great
not
cooking
yeah.
as long as it's ventilated.
So what I'm talking about, Markham, is clean charcoal for a fish tank
filtration.
that you can use to make a water filter.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Instead of activate. Well, you also go to a pet store and get some. I think it's Aqualand or Marine Land makes an huge thing of activated charcoal, pretty cheap to have in your emergency.
Yeah.
supply.
Well, so talking about your medical kit, we actually get what am I trying to think of? The overdose, not Narcan. Yeah, Narcan. So we could actually get Narcan up here to keep in medical kits for the overdose patients that we might encounter up here. So yeah, Narcan is absolutely another one that you need to keep on hand.
And I would say rubbing alcohol.
Hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, those two are very good to have on you at all times. Well, not at all times. Like, don't walk in.
But I also have a surgical field surgical kit. So.
And to be perfectly honest, if you need a medication in order to live, make sure you have at least a 2-week supply on you at all times. Because it's going to take you at least 2 weeks to get to the pharmacy. Honestly, make sure that you're covered.
Yeah.
As far as your medications list goes, as far as that kind of stuff goes.
Yeah, if you're on medication, if you're make sure you're in your community, make sure you're disabled or identified, your elderly are identified. So they'll be the first ones you go to help if you need to.
And always check on your neighbors, man.
Yep.
Be a good neighbor. Go check on them. Go make sure that they're not in need of something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see a little hole open up in the
check
door,
because if they're dead, you can raid their supplies and you can live longer.
if you see a small door open up inside, like a little hole open up inside the door, and a barrel stick out, run.
Run. Very fast. Run.
Most definitely, but I believe that everybody should at least get to know who their neighbors are at some point, so that
absolutely,
if an emergency, if something does happen, you know how many children they have, you know how many of this that they have, and if something happens to one of them, you would know what they looked like in order to help find them, or whatever the case would be.
Absolutely, Izzy. Yeah, if you have medication, make sure you check the expiration dates.
So you know what to eat.
Hey now.
And then any bulk foods you have, make sure you're rotating that out into your regular used supply every few months, like rice and those type of things. No, they don't really go bad, but I would prefer not to eat stale rice for the
and when you need it, make sure well, that time you need it, absolutely. Yeah, if the rodents got into it.
Yeah.
Or it's got bugs or, something.
They typically have a 2-year shelf life, but that is a 2-year shelf life completely sealed and still in its... So...
Right. And political Woodstock. So, know who your neighbors are doesn't mean you have to be friendly with them. Just know who they are.
Well, in your case, if your neighbor is kind of a jerk, then that would be the one to avoid in case of an emergency.
Not true. That is the first one you take out.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
To dinner.
I didn't say that.
Oh.
I can think of it. Never mind.
Okay, so Joe, what about the paranormal during a global pandemic?
I don't think they have to worry about it much. The ghosts are already dead.
Well,
the aliens have replicators, I'm pretty sure.
And absolutely, Joyce. So Joyce says thanks for the advice for what to prepare for.
And make sure you have your normal supplies for any emergency, candles. Blankets.
Flashlights. Make sure you're checking your flashlights. Make sure the batteries.
Yeah, have extra batteries.
Yeah.
Glow sticks are a great thing to always have. And not just glow sticks. You can go walk down to the dollar store and grab the bracelets. You can grab the necklaces. They last for quite a while.
So, real quick, I'm going to briefly hit this, but the paranormal during the global pandemic, paranormal is not going to go away, by all means. If you want to go on the conspiracy side of a pandemic, it's so easy to make it a conspiracy, but I don't even dwell on that just because of the fact that it is reality. There are people dying from it. So how do you prepare for it? You wash your hands with soap and water, like we said about 20 times on the show tonight. But that's the easiest way to keep yourself healthy and boost your immunity.
Could the haunting side get worse?
Well, okay. If you want to look at it from that perspective, you might have more spirits stuck here because they
more confused,
right? For the ones dying, they're dying before their time.
Yeah.
And depending on the pandemic, if it's a violent death, I look at that and say nerve agent, but no. Yeah, and Joe says don't use soap manufactured in China.
You're screwed, Kayla.
Okay, and one more thing to just throw out there, because I know that there's a lot of kids and some adults that do this too, but don't share drinks.
No.
Okay? There's a lot of people that will, hey, take a sip of this. Try this. It's a new flavor. Whatever it is, don't share drinks with your buddies.
That's when you want to stop that.
If you want that kind of entertainment, you go back to the old way we used to do it. Hey, smell this.
No. But so that's as far as the paranormal I would go on that, because I mean, you've got more spirits from the people that died during a pandemic.
Yeah, Bigfoot hasn't come around for how long now? He ain't gonna show up when we're all sick. He's smarter than that.
Right. And political Woodstock, good. Her whiskey's her rum.
Joe just brought up a good comment. Don't pop the bubble wrap when you get something in the mail. The air inside might be from China.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just saying. So in order for Jalen to join the show, we had to get him a set of headphones, and immediately he went for the bubble wrap.
Great.
No,
you just got us all corona'd out.
Yeah.
That would be kind of a funny way to spread a disease agent, something like anthrax or something that can be weaponized.
Wow, way to bring that up.
For all the terrorists listening, don't listen to him.
No. We don't pop bubble wrap anymore. No. And so speaking of which, it's come up lately, also in the news about Adamov division. So we
weaponized bubble wrap.
Weaponized bubble wrap. Yeah, right.
That brings a whole new meaning to the boy in the bubble.
So 4 individuals recently were arrested for being a part of Adamov division. So if you haven't heard of Adamov division, that is a neo-Nazi, very radical, very violent organization here in America and in Europe.
And they seem to be preparing for something very big.
They have been.
Yeah.
And that's worrisome. So some things to look for, obviously the swastika, obviously the nuclear cloud is one of their signs.
The number 88.
1388. There's 88, a lot of people don't understand that. 13, I can't remember the specifics, but 13 has to do with the phrase that Hitler said. 88 because
it's the 8th letter of the
H
alphabet.
is the 8th letter of the alphabet, Heil Hitler. So if you ever see the numbers 1388,
they're based in quite a few states, including Washington, California.
There you go, 1488. That's what it was.
What are the other 2 states that they were in?
They're
Texas.
They're
everywhere. But like
so
these
Texas
are training
was,
grounds.
Texas was big. Washington State was big. Nevada was big, and I believe Tennessee was another big
And weren't
one.
they? I think it was Oregon that they were caught in too. Like there was some issues in Oregon.
Yeah, but they were traveling.
They were traveling from California to Washington, and it caught in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine Tennessee is quite a target because you have, you've got the Tennessee Valley Authority and all their dams in the area.
Yeah.
You've got, that nuclear. I'm having a hard time with names tonight for some reason.
They've been, and they came out and they actually, that's how they got caught, was they got cocky and they actually started coming out talking.
Yeah.
Thankfully they did, because that's how they got caught. But and they not only came out talking, they were actually going to destroy infrastructure, which is a worry because, well, you've got nuclear facilities, we've got dams,
Well, isn't it Bremerton that has all the nuclear subsites?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, just give them the address. That's cool.
Oak Ridge.
Oh, jeez.
God, it just came to me. Oak Ridge National Laboratories is right there, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours west of where I'm sitting right now.
Right.
They,
Seriously, we're
they
giving away
helped develop
targets here.
the bomb.
They already know where they are. But, they not only came out saying they were going to use explosives to blow these infrastructure up, but they're actually caught with explosives in their apartments. So, you not only have the ideology, you not only have them making threats, but they've got the means to do it.
And an insane amount of weaponry on the road as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but
And trying to
you
pass
gotta
into
think,
Canada with weaponry. Like, how dumb
Oh, no,
are you?
they were in Canada. And they some of them have military training. We've actually got a lieutenant colonel in the Army that was tied to Adamov. I'm not sure what his status is right now. I'm pretty sure they handle it. But, they target veterans, they target military because they want their training. They want them in their organization for the training.
yeah, but okay, and I'm just gonna throw this out here, but at the same point, anybody nowadays could go online, could go on freaking YouTube and get a how-to on how to make a weapon of mass destruction. Like, it's not something that a layman couldn't do anymore. It's
Right.
not like, so training or not, if you got this in place and you got enough people and you got enough of everything else, you got to catch them beforehand.
Me and you have totally different Google searches, obviously.
I'm a researcher. What do you
Well,
expect?
You make napalm out of a styrofoam.
Styrofoam and
Napalm
diesel.
out of a styrofoam cooler and gasoline.
Yeah.
Ammonium nitrate and diesel fuel.
Yeah.
That's what farmers. I grew up. That's what farmers use to remove stumps and big rocks.
Well,
That stuff's been out there forever.
Dude, dry ice in a freaking bottle.
But that's my argument is it's so hard to and for listeners who don't know why we're talking about this. So I do have a bachelor's degree in Homeland Security, and this is what I've learned. This is this is 19 and a half years Army and a bachelor's in Homeland Security. This is what I study. This is why we talk about this on the show, because terrorism is a reality. With the advent of the internet, information is so easy to get now. It's very easy to use the internet, use social media to get people to join your organization, and that's how terrorism spreads. So that's why we talk about this kind of stuff, because it's a reality. And you need to prepare for it, because it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when. It's a matter of when these people are going to push their ideology into a terrorist act.
Well, and it's also regular day stuff. Like, you get the young kids playing what they think is a practical joke. Like mailbox bombs.
Right.
They've been around for years. They're easy to make. And
Not funny.
unfortunately, that's the thing. The kids don't realize how much damage they can actually cause.
Mm-hmm.
If you find a bottle in your mailbox, like an empty pop bottle, don't freaking touch it.
No, we used to make MRE bombs in the Army all the time. You take the MRE heater, you pour it in a water bottle, you add a little bit of water, you cap it off, and
That's what I'm saying. You could do the same thing with
blows
dry ice. It's
right. But, when it comes to weaponizing a virus, I think one of the biggest bacteria, I believe it was E. coli they used in Oregon, it was back in the 80s. And they actually, I can't remember the name of the group that did it, but they went to a salad bar in a restaurant. And
I
they put
remember
E.
that.
coli all over the salad bar, and a lot of people got sick. A few people died.
But I will say that one of the things is with weaponized viruses and stuff like that. It's hard to do, but it's also people are going away from that because of the fact
it's easier to use ricin.
Exactly. Not only that, but you always run the risk of getting it yourself or spreading it to people that you don't want it to spread to. It's not just a single population of people you're hurting here. This could become anything.
And that's why I don't feed into the hype about, it's a weaponized virus. No, you know how hard it's going to be to weaponize something like coronavirus without getting it yourself. It takes a lab.
It's going to happen in the average basement laboratory, that's for sure.
No.
The entire Chinese army is
this would take some serious knowledge to be able to weaponize something and cure yourself ahead of time and everything. It isn't something... This is like a 30-year process or more.
It takes too much money and not worth the effort.
And I mean no offense, but it takes too much intelligence for a lot of people as well.
Right.
Because they just don't know what they're doing in a laboratory setting, okay? Like, if you've never worked in one, if you've never been trained in one, you're not going to know proper protocol. You're not going to know how to mix this to make it so that it doesn't blow up in your face.
Right.
Like...
And not only that, but getting these sources to weaponize it. You can create the virus easy enough, but then you have to figure out how to weaponize it effectively. That's not going to, one, kill the virus, and two, you might spray it from an airplane and the weather turns around.
And not only that, but the issue with that is too is that another country isn't going to use that against another country because eventually it's going to come back to your country. It's not something that you can necessarily say, it's completely contained within the borders of this land. No, it's never going to be like that. Not with a weaponized virus. Not with any of that.
No, and
there's
that's why
too many variables in that for that to be.
That's why I want to dispute the conspiracies right now. Is coronavirus weaponized? No. I fully agree and believe that it is one of those mutated forms of the original corona and was a naturally occurring spread from an animal in a market. And, well,
look at evolution in general, okay? Everything evolves. Even if it's only a little tiny bit over a millennia. Okay, everything evolves a little bit here and there, and it adapts to its environment, and it overcomes this. So we're going to see new strains of stuff that we haven't seen before, because what are they doing? They're doing the same thing that our body is. It's overcoming and adapting, because that's how it continues to live.
Absolutely. So what's your thoughts, Markham?
I have to agree that, you're going to... Part of, like Marburg and Ebola and some of these that have come out, it's because we have encroached on their reservoir where their animals that carry them harmlessly are in their own population. As the human population expands, we're going to encounter things that in their natural environment they're not harmful to what they've co-evolved with. But once they get into the human population, watch out.
Well, this is why there are specific things that human beings were not meant to digest.
Snake?
Okay? That human beings were not meant to mess with. Okay? Because there is diseases that are carried by these specific animals, by this specific genome of whatever.
I hear bats, I think of rabies automatically. Not all of them carry rabies, I get that, but...
I think of Ace Ventura.
I think of Ozzy.
I think the thing... Well, you look back, there was a culture that had a pretty good handle on this. Look at the food restrictions that the Jewish people have.
Thank you.
Pork, shellfish. Two of the worst things that can rip through a community with shellfish is there's strep and strep
and I'll
A
throw it out there
and
too.
calogenes or something like that can spread through. If you eat infected shellfish, it can go through an entire population. Trichinosis with pork, they're
Right.
So I think the Jews, the Jewish population, their food restrictions were probably through trial and error.
Well, you look back on written word, like if you take the Bible into consideration and you take the restrictions on don't eat pork, don't eat this, don't eat that, prepare this separately from this, humans shouldn't be doing this or this or this or this. Well, most of them is because there's an actual disease reason behind the fact that you shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to hell for doing it, but you probably shouldn't do it. So let's put the fear of God in you and say that this is going to happen to you if you do. Okay?
If coronavirus is airborne, we just need to get giant fans.
Yeah, because that's good to help.
Where are you going to send it?
Well, like, back to China. So, like...
Ouch!
Oh, man.
Like, if people use gas on you, just get giant fans. Blow it away. Push back with them.
So you return the sender?
What?
Where are you going to get said giant fan from?
Well, if you're smart
Well,
like
they're
me...
kind of building them all over the country. You just got to power them with gas now.
What?
Wind turbines.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't the whole not using gas the reason? Oh, wow.
Oh. So, let's see. We're coming down to the last 20 minutes of the show. So, don't panic. You don't got to go running into the store to buy everything up.
Or do it. That's how we get a good economy.
Well, the economy is going to crash anyway. Okay? Nobody wants to ship anything to the other countries because, oh my God, coronavirus is going to get spread there. It's going to come here regardless. It'll find its way. Yeah, I know. The headphones are made in China.
Yeah.
So we got coronavirus in our ears.
You know what, though? Okay. Like
Corona, yeah.
Joyce said in here, then we discovered the lead in the toys they painted and sold here. The problem I have with that is every country does something like that with certain products. In the 30s, the United States radiated products to sell to people, toothpaste included.
What was that
You could buy radiated toothpaste.
That's what I'm saying. What was that stuff that they
There was
used
glass.
to turn themselves green?
Yeah.
Because it was so pretty.
Yeah. Like,
and then their
there
teeth
was-
rotted out and they all
radiated
died.
their dinner plates because it would make them a beautiful green color.
Right.
It took them like 20 years to discover that was a bad idea.
Uh-huh.
Well, think about...
That's what
okay.
Kim likes.
Well, think about back in the day, you'd have a doctor come and talk to you with a lit cigarette in his mouth. Oh, hey, how's it going? How you feeling?
Right.
Okay.
I miss those days.
Oh yeah,
Not
literally.
really, but-
I had a doctor here in the mountains. If you showed up and you had a pack in your pocket, right there in the exam room, he'd bum a cigarette because OP cigarettes didn't cause cancer, and sit there and smoke a cigarette with you while you were talking. It's like,
Speaking of cigarettes. So Joyce says, meet the definition of a weapon of mass destruction. Absolutely. If you could weaponize a virus or weaponize a biological agent, that is a weapon of mass destruction. But we have we have laws. We have laws of warfare. This country does. Any country that's going to use a biological agent or a virus or any kind of health, they're not going to use it on us because of the retaliatory factor.
Woodstock, can you rephrase that question about schools?
Radio.
When you say what about schools, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean.
well, it's a good place to. Schools are an excellent place to unleash some kind of a biological agent, even if it's just something not meant to kill but debilitate.
Yes,
Because-
because kids
Well, the
are...
Just
kids
like with
are gonna
your
bring-
own experience with your children. Flu season or cold season comes, the kids bring the cold, everybody in the house gets it, everybody starts to, the kids start to get away. It goes through antigenic changes at school, and just about the time you think you're over it, they come home with the
Another
slightly mutated strain. Yeah, it just,
Yeah.
you know, if you did that with a flu virus that was particularly virulent, you
Schools
could have
are
a whole community on its knees. Not
schools are a
necessarily
lab.
dead, but debilitated.
Well, you know, and not only that, but as a parent, especially with really young children, your automatic reaction when your kid gets sick is to snuggle with them and to, oh, it's okay,
I
give them
wouldn't do
hugs,
that.
whatever.
Well,
So,
you know, we've talked about this before. The schools are breeding grounds for bacteria, viruses. They're labs because the kids go to school. They hug each other. Mm-hmm. They put their coats on. They put each other's coats on. It's school.
think about the freaking, what was it, lice outbreak a couple of years back. Where every other kid in the world had
Exactly.
lice, and it was some
Super
super
lice.
lice, and
It took 2 years to get rid of.
everybody's sitting there sharing hats and tossing this and that around, and it would never leave, no matter what you did. So it would be the same thing.
You gotta say that correctly. Super lice.
Super lice.
Oh, but yeah, you know, it's
Well, they used to send kids home from school with lice when I was little. Pink eye and lice.
They still send them home.
Well, if
but
you showed up with pink eye, you were gone. I mean, and they told your parents, come and get this kid now.
oh yeah,
the problem is now they don't send the letters home or make other parents around the school aware.
They'll send the one particular child home, but anybody that they've already shared a hat with for the last, 4 days or so, doesn't get told about it, and then it just spreads from kid to kid to kid to kid until everybody has it.
Well,
Yeah, they
I
don't
remember
even
a few
do
months
dent
ago.
inspections anymore.
No, they don't. Not anymore.
I remember a few months ago, or a couple months ago, they canceled the school canceled a ball game because everyone had the flu. Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah, absolutely, schools are complete breeding grounds for,
Yeah.
which
Definitely.
explains perfectly why Japan would cancel their schools, especially when they have coronavirus outbreaks. Yeah, and Izzy says in the classroom has dress-up boxes with hats in it for the kids to share. Oh, you know, and if they don't clean the classrooms properly, if they don't use Lysol to clean the classrooms properly, they've got rugs in the classrooms. And
Everybody come sit down for rug time. Yeah,
Right.
no joke.
you know, that's probably the smart thing to do. Woodstock, she homeschooled till they're ready for high school. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either. But, you know, you just stock up your house with Theraflu, with kids' medicines and whatnot.
Whiskey.
You fight your way through it every year. That's what we've done.
Whiskey.
No.
Yeah. I'm
What?
not saying give it to the kids. I'm saying that's what I need to handle them.
What?
Oh.
What?
Whiskey.
Whiskey? Well, that works too.
Yeah.
Jim
If I
Beam,
drink enough, they don't complain.
but
'cause
it's
I
not
don't hear
to
them at
be
least.
Jim Beam rye whiskey.
Jeez. Okay. Really? I think I've seen you drink 10 times ever.
Or Everclear. Everclear might work.
Everclear works great.
Oh,
I
thank
wonder
you,
if you
Woodstock.
pour that in their hair if it would get rid of the lice.
I do want to throw something out there quick. We've made a lot of jokes and everything tonight. This is something very serious, though. Wash your hands. Do what you can to keep yourself safe from it. But also remember, I know it started in China. It isn't the entire country's fault. Let's not go on some rant and rampage against this country just because one area had a disease that started there.
Absolutely. And, you know, like I said, if someone's wearing a mask, so this happened in Japan or another foreign country where they actually attacked this person for wearing a mask.
Dude.
You know, it's discrimination. It's assault. If someone's wearing a mask, don't look at them funny. They're protecting themselves, or they might even be protecting
They
you
might be
because
protecting
they're
you.
sick.
Yeah, I do look at him a little funny just because I'm like, what you got?
There, you know, and so Woodstock's enjoying the show. This isn't our normal show. We decided to switch our show to pandemics tonight because it is a fear factor in our community here. No one's got it up here, but they don't want it to come up here.
Okay, and I will tell you too that there are a lot of people that wear masks on a regular, especially if they are people that have weakened immune systems for whatever reason.
Right.
Okay, I know quite a few people that have weakened immune systems because of certain diseases or whatnot. They will wear them almost every day, if not every day.
Well, that's a smart thing to do if you have a weakened immune system anyway. They're taking care of themselves, and they're taking care of you. Look at it that way. Because if they are coughing, if they do have, if they are sick, they're keeping you from getting their germs. And again, those attacks have not happened here. They happen in, like I said, Japan or Europe. I don't remember specifically which country it was. It got brought up in ADL or one of the discrimination organizations that tracks this kind of stuff. But anyway, keep yourself safe.
Yep, absolutely.
Next week, what are we doing next week?
We got to go back to aliens. I want to talk about them.
Aliens?
Oh, we're going back.
And we're going to tell them to turn their back around to us before the show so that we're talking behind their back.
What are you talking about?
What?
The aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah.
We're talking about aliens next week?
We're going
Absolutely. Let's do it.
E.T. phone home?
So, I think next week we'll hit alien races.
Yeah.
We could do alien races. That'd be fun.
Next week we'll try to get Barry back on the show. We'll try to get...
I'd like to have Barry back. I like Barry. Barry's a good guy.
I'll try to get Barry Gaunt. If
Who
you're
would
listening,
win?
Barry, you can expect my message.
Who would win? Eric, who would win?
Huh?
Who would win? A reptilian or a mantid? Alien races.
Hands down, reptilian. Reptilians are warriors. Mantids, think about praying mantis. That'd be easy to kill.
That's a lot of legs.
Well, it is, but
No, I mean foot
reptilians
race.
have armor.
You have a foot race. You said races.
No, we don't have a Discord to Woodstock. I don't like Discord. Discord's not my friend.
Yeah. We use this as our chat room, and you can go on Facebook, and you can find us under S4 Paranormal Radio. You can also join the Facebook group, Forest Moon Paranormal. So Izzy asked if we need the kids' hats for next week's episode.
Yes.
Our kids had Crazy Hat Day this week, and so we went together and made our kids' tinfoil hats.
Yeah, so the kids will be wearing tinfoil hats next week. Contact info, look for Forest Moon Paranormal in Facebook. That is where all the information goes, along with our S4 Facebook page.
Yeah, and you can also check out the website at www.s4radio.com. We do have some merchandise in there that's very awesome that you can go grab. We got this is the thing we always talk about, the shower curtains. They are the greatest thing ever. I love
We're
those
going to
things.
buy one. And I'm not sure where you're at, Woodstock, but we will be at the Oregon Ghost Conference March 27th. With
March 27th through 29th.
29th, yep.
Yeah, get your tickets now. Tickets are going fast, actually, for a lot of their events that they got going on that weekend. And make sure you get a hotel room, because that is a beautiful place to stay.
And yes, we are right in the heart of Bigfoot country in the Cascade Mountains, so we do talk Bigfoot a lot on this show. We talk alien races, UFOs.
Occasionally ghosts.
Huh?
We hit ghosts every once
We
in
do
a while.
hit ghosts every once in a while, but every other
Well, we
show
don't hit
talks
'em.
about
That's
hauntings.
not nice.
Huh?
It's not nice to hit Eric.
Yeah,
No.
think about
No.
Casper.
Okay.
He's new. It's okay.
Okay. Always nice seeing new listeners in the chat room.
Absolutely.
We are every Sunday 7 to 10 p.m.
Yep, every Sunday 7 to 10 on
used to be-
Spreaker.com and
Yep.
on www.s4radio.com.
Absolutely.
Check out the embedded player. You can listen to all the old shows on there. Also, you can listen to the last 3 years on youtube.com. So make sure you go
Yep.
check out our YouTube page.
On Twitter.
We're on Twitter too, ain't we?
Yep.
We are.
Twitter.
We are. I got to get a little bit more active on that, but yes, we are. And
If you guys start talking to me on there, it'll just send me notifications and I'll talk back.
Will you, though?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, I will.
Really. And for our local listeners.
Oh, yeah, Pacific time, by the way.
Yep. For our local listeners, next Saturday, stop by the studio for tacos.
Taco Saturday.
And we will talk about the gear you need to have specifically. What our plans are as far as we are going to try to tie Bigfoot to UFOs.
Oh, we got some plans.
We got some
good
plans. Markham's got some plans. You still here, Markham?
Yeah.
Okay. Quiet. We're quiet. Markham got some
thinking.
plans with satellite dishes and
Oh,
frequencies
And bubble wrap.
and bubble wrap. But we won't
But not
pop.
from China.
Right. We won't pop the bubble wrap.
Alright.
So, yeah, I feel like it was a great show, guys. Thank you very much for all joining us. Jalen, thank you for joining us for your first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his first time talking.
Yeah.
He sits
He
off in the
is-
corner
he-
and listens.
He has been a very big help for me in the last couple of years, and he's always ready to get me a coffee to get ready for the show. So, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
I thank Izzy, but she isn't here apparently, and never
No,
is.
she's really not
She
here.
doesn't listen to the show.
She says, good job, Jalen.
No, she doesn't, because she doesn't listen to
That's
the show.
true.
Oh, she's not really here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to get your taxes done,
Yes.
you need to, and it doesn't really matter where you're at because you can do your taxes remotely.
Yeah. That's Zip Refund /Darrington on Facebook.
Yep.
I don't know your wife's phone number, so what's your wife's phone number?
Don't give that out on air. No, I'm just playing.
No, the work number.
Oh, the work number. Okay.
The work
don't
number
have
I don't
either
have
of them.
memorized.
And never mind, she's not here.
Okay.
Oh.
She
she's
just
not
said,
here.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
look for Zip Refund Darrington.
Yeah. She did our taxes. She did a wonderful job. So definitely hit her up for that. Remember, you only have till mid-April.
Yep.
So get them done.
Okay.
Or you get
Her
nothing
work
back.
number is 360-499-3887. If you want to get your taxes done, she can do it remotely.
Yep.
Call
they're
and make
really-
an appointment today.
Yeah.
So,
And Joyce is saying coronavirus was said to also enter through the eyes, so a mask won't help. You're absolutely right. But, like I said, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. But don't fear it.
swimming goggles.
Swimming goggles,
Yep.
yeah. Well, that's what Woodstock said. Wear an eye mask.
We are going to look so weird next week.
Can you imagine me trying to serve people like they would look at me so weird? Okay.
That number is for
Zip Refund Darrington.
Yeah, with
Get your
Helen Cooper.
taxes done.
she can get your taxes done for you, and she does an excellent job. So make sure you give her a call if you need her.
All right.
And she, is, so she is a sponsor of S4.
Yes.
Zip Refund is.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're
Yeah.
just kind of...
We have to get her into the ad rotation soon.
And after we open our new business, right, Izzy?
Oh, God, what's your new business?
We're not sure yet. We're not sure yet.
Whoa, whoa,
I'm
whoa.
not going to go there. Our new business. Oh, make sure you check out our
Our GoFundMe.
our GoFundMe because we do need funding for some of the science we're doing.
Yeah, the link is on the
It's in Forest Moon Paranormal.
yeah.
Yep.
The group, not the page. So
Yep.
make sure you go to the
Not
group.
page.
Seriously, guys, this kind of research does take quite a bit. We can definitely use your guys' help to continue with it, and we promise in return, anytime we get any kind of hit or evidence or anything that we find during one of our expeditions, we will definitely talk about it thoroughly through the next show.
Oh,
And
we're gonna. You know what? We're gonna be doing a lot of. We need game cams. So I don't care if you can't donate to GoFundMe. If you have extra paranormal gear, if you have extra game cams, we could use that kind of stuff.
not just get paranormal gear, even camping gear, we could totally use that as well.
Right.
Yes, for our Bigfoot expeditions and for all of our different outdoor activities through the year that we need to do.
Absolutely. And if you have friends that you know would enjoy listening to S4, dude, we talk, we talk about some of the craziest sounding stuff, but it's reality. Just saying.
We're not afraid to live on the edge of reality.
No, not at all. Come on now, we talked about the Mandela effect. Really?
Yes, that we did.
You know
that was
what?
actually a lot of fun.
Here's the deal. Where I draw the line is I will not give flat earthers the time of day.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
I won't.
But I finally figured out how flat Earth could actually work.
Oh,
Okay?
really?
Yep, because flat Earth is spinning so fast that it actually makes it into a ball.
Oh, my God.
Okay? And
I
that's
will
where all the
tell
gravity
him,
comes.
it is
Where did Joe go?
12:05 on this side of the Earth. On the other side, it's 12:05.
All right,
Guess
next
what?
week, Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Go.
Right. No, next week we're going to talk alien races.
Yeah.
Alien races.
Alien races.
We are out of time for this week, guys. Thank you again for joining us. And Eric, what do you always say?
Keep your eyes to the skies. Y'all have a good night. Have a safe
for
week.
if you're in
And
China.
we will see you next weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight on S4, the official voice of Forest Moon Paranormal. You can contact S4 through our website at www.s-4radio.com or on Facebook. Make sure you give us a like on our page and join the Forest Moon Paranormal group. If you are interested in advertising, take a look at our packages and contact Cole or Eric at 1-360-999-2830. Again, thank you. And remember, keep your eyes to the sky.